Hello, Dave. Today is Saturday, the 12th of March, 2022. I am the Bro 9000, and I trust you are all functioning well today. We have a lot of slides to go through, so no news, thank fuck, just 100% Galaxy Quest. Let's start as we mean to go on, folks. Hello, everybody. Shall we get the guest out? And apologies for being a little bit late. Just waiting for a guest to arrive, but he's here now. So I hope you're all very well. So let's get the guest out. First up, set your Jedi power wands to stunning and brave. Your Photoshop automation to full power. He's recently been to Wuhan in China, you know. We have the wonderful, and he is not Brian Young.
Hey, good evening,
Right,
Brune.
buddy.
Good evening, chat. How are we?
How are you today?
I'm not too bad. Well, that's a lie. I'm a little worse for wear after this morning's surprise stream and 11 a.m. drinking, but other than that, I'm okay.
Daytime drinking always not a good idea.
Yeah,
Drinking
no, it's
during the
not.
day.
As long as you're sober enough for the evening stream, then all should be well, I would think.
All I can say is somebody's got to do it, so it may as well be you.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. You know what? I can't stop it.
Yes, someone in the chat says you're like a horse with a carrot.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Oh, it's me.
You know what my next question is, don't you?
Shall we get the next guest now?
Next, he's the wise elder of the channel, the writer, the portal, the director, and paid up member of the Selfridges Appreciation Society. He is the great Mega Geek himself, Ian David Diaz. And he's on mute.
I'm usually last, so usually introduce me last. So I was just waiting. I was just waiting for everybody else to be introduced.
Yeah, we've got a big guest on tonight. So as you know, the usually it is you.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got the main man on tonight. So are you well, Ian?
I'm all right. Yeah. I'm just a bit tired, but I'm okay.
Good day at work.
Yeah, well, yeah, as good as it can be. Put it that way.
Filming, I assume, yes.
Yeah, usual corporate nonsense, but pays the bills. I've got to pay the mortgage. So anyway, mortgage might not matter if Russian people get their way, and if Putin gets his way, none of it might matter.
Yeah, but think positive. Positive. It might never happen. So you know what my next question is, don't you?
Yeah, the next guest.
Oh yes. Next up, we call him the Jester from Leicester. Watch out, War and Peace. He's writing a Star Wars novel, don't you know? The digital artisan himself. It's the wonderful Swapshop.
Hey, hello everybody.
Hello, Matt.
All right.
Yeah, not bad. Thanks. Excited to talk about Galaxy Quest. I was in the kitchen just a minute ago, and I wondered what all this smacking sound was, and I thought, oh,
my lips, mate.
Brown's masticating again.
Welcome to the masticating channel on YouTube.
That's Brian's line, isn't it?
Should be.
That's his best chat up line, isn't it, Brian?
Who's sing the news, married lad?
Would you like to see me masticate?
Can hear you masticate. I don't need to see you. Thanks.
So you good? How's your artisan stuff going? All right.
It's going all right. It's been a lot of work sorting out a Facebook page and getting the website up and running and all that business, but it's pretty much there. So
why don't you throw a link in the chat so people can see your wares?
Oh, I will. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay. So you're good, yes?
All right, mate. Can't complain. Shall we get the next one out?
Indeed. When you need a reach around behind the moisture evaporators, we have the droid for you. ask Unglowing. It's Z3PO.
Oh, good evening, sir. Pleasure to be with you once again. You almost
He's
caught
excited.
me. Yes, you almost caught me masticating as well.
Moving on. So, are you good, my friend?
I'm very good, sir.
You're looking
very
forward to
excited.
this?
Yes, the new Kenobi trailer. That's been exciting me all week, sir. There's a strange man in it, and he looks very familiar. I've been having some very disturbing dreams of late.
So, other than those disturbing dreams, you're looking forward to Galaxy Quest.
I am indeed, sir. It's one of my favourite Star Trek films.
Oh, good man. One of mine as well. You know what my next question is, don't you?
It's please get out the next guest.
Yes, we shall wheel him out. Okay, and last, but by no means least, he's got the biggest helmet on YouTube. Just ask his missus. It's our Lord and Master, the wonderful Commander Culture.
Hello, everybody. I'm very glad to be here. Howdy.
You're right,
Thanks
buddy.
for having me. It's taken a little bit of a homoerotic turn the last couple minutes here, but I think I can withstand. So looking forward to getting this Galaxy Quest chat going.
What's it like? Are you able to masticate under the helmet?
It's difficult, but I make it work. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I did like that mutual mastication comment there in the chat. So
I've not looked at the chat. I can imagine the chat will be coming through for us like they always do. So are you good, Commander?
I am. I hope my voice holds up here for this, and that my aviary in the background doesn't distract the people. But
while you're at it, my friend, throw a link for your channel in the chat so people can
we'll do
check
that.
you out. If you like political comments and perhaps a little bit of masticating, Commander is
not too much.
The man. Okay,
just tasteful.
So Galaxy Quest. Should we do the blurb? So just let me get my little on-screen graphics on. Here we go. Bear with me. Brain fart. Here we go. So Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Galaxy Quest. The blurb. I smacked my lips then, sorry. Galaxy Quest released 1999. Release date April 28, 2000, UK. PG certificate 1 hour 42. Directed by Dean Parisot. Writers David Howard, story Robert Gordon, screenplay. Produced by Too Many to Mention, and there was a lot of producers. Music David Newman. Special effects by the mighty ILM, starring Tim Allen as Jason Nesmith, Sigourney Weaver, Gwen DeMarco, Alan Rickman, Alexander Dane, Sam Rockwell, Guy Fleegman, Enrico Colantoni, Mathazar, Tony Shalhoub, Fred Kwan, Robin Sachs, Saris, Justin Long, Brandon. Budget was $45 million. Gross, $90 million, which ain't a lot, really, is it? So
you missed one important actor off there, sir. This was Rainn Wilson from The Office's first cinematic debut.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Who would like to see the trailer? I downloaded it. Should we play it?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll drop it in.
We'll probably get a copyright strike, but I don't care. It doesn't matter at this moment. So enjoy.
In the far reaches of the galaxy, a civilization is under siege.
We are all that is left.
They've searched the universe for a leader.
Stay tuned for scenes from next week's Galaxy Quest.
Never give up, never surrender.
He will save us.
what they got.
Never give up and never surrender.
Were struggling TV actors.
You are our last hope.
Where's my limo?
Okie dokie.
And they're about to put on a command performance 8 million light years away.
We are actors, not astronauts.
You are our protectors.
That was a hell of a thing.
Now,
Laredo, take us out.
You gotta move to the right.
Would you sit your ass down? You wanna drive this thing?
acting like heroes.
The whole thing was just a misunderstanding.
May not be enough.
They look like little children. Hi, little guy.
I'm done.
DreamWorks Pictures presents Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman, Galaxy Quest.
You're just gonna have to kill it.
Well, go for the mouth, the throat, his vulnerable spots.
There's a rock. It doesn't have any vulnerable spots.
There you
It's
go.
a terrible trailer. That
Yeah.
trailer's awful, isn't it? And also, they showed the bits that wasn't even in the film.
I thought that.
A few, yeah.
Yeah, that's some of the deleted scenes. Yep.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
when
terrible
it was a
trailer.
different movie, wasn't it?
It doesn't even give the flavour of what. Well, it does a bit, but not much though. It's really. I've never seen such a bad trailer. That's really awful. Anyway, carry on.
Is that why it didn't? Well, we all know why it didn't make much money, because it was never advertised. I don't think the trailer helped, though, did it? Really?
No, it didn't. But I mean, after all these years, it's hailed as one of the best comedies, isn't it? I mean, it's
Yeah.
regarded with affection now, isn't it? So
It is. It is. It is. So, who would like to start first with Brian? Do you want to go first? What do you think to the film, mate?
Why not? Well, it'd been 20 years since I last watched Galaxy Quest, but I really enjoyed it this week. I thought it might have dated quite horribly, but to my surprise, it really holds up today, at least in my opinion. The characters are all very likable, each with their own flaws and goals. Alan Rickman's Alexander Dane probably has the best character arc, and I think Rickman's performance is the best from a very solid cast. These days, it's pretty rare that you find a decent comedy from Hollywood, as they prefer to ad-lib much of the material, almost kind of well congratulating themselves on how wonderful they are. So this was a really refreshing rewatch. And the downside, I think some parts of the plot don't make much sense, and I think that's even taken into consideration the fantastical elements of the story.
Yeah.
But I think it really gets away with it for the most part, and I'm really not too keen on pulling it down for that alone. So all
I'll
in,
agree
I
with that.
think a fun film, a clever idea, and I really think it stands the test of time.
Yeah, there are a couple parts where it does take liberties, but we'll forgive it. Ian, you like this movie?
I do. I think it's very funny, but I heard, and I don't know how true this is, that it was based on a conversation that someone heard in the toilets when William Shatner and the rest were doing the convention before Star Trek
I
made
heard
the
that
movies.
also, yes.
Yeah, and it was William Shatner in the toilet that was slagging off people, and this person heard them. I think it was based on that. But remember that because it's obviously Star Trek and it's obviously William Shatner and the rest of them, because they really did have problems with William Shatner. William Shatner stole lines from them from the original show, and Sulu, the guy who played Sulu, hated him, didn't really want to work with him.
Yeah.
And Leonard Nimoy hated Spock at that moment in time and wrote a book saying I'm not Spock, and thought it really crimped his career and stuff like that. So when I watch this film, because I know the history of that, sometimes it makes me feel sad that people like William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy didn't appreciate what they had. Do you know what I mean? And they were very lucky it came back around. you know, for
Very
the
lucky.
movie, you know, for the movies and Star Wars and stuff like that, made it come round, and then they started appreciating it. It's the same thing with this as well, you know. They don't appreciate the success they've got until this fantastical thing happens. I think it's a fun movie, personally. I like it a lot.
As we said, Leonard Nimoy didn't embrace it, and then he had his epiphany on Star Trek 2, didn't he? Where
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So,
yeah, he did, yeah.
So you like this? Yeah, it is a good film.
I
You
loved
like
it. I
yes.
thought it was fun.
Yeah. Swappers.
It was a while back when I saw this one now, but that even though that trailer wasn't really that representative of the final movie, that's what got me to go and see it. I was super excited to see a spoof on Star Trek because I was such a massive fan of the Next Generation, and I think Next Generation pretty much come to an end, so I was desperate to have anything that was similar, even if it was a parody of it. Well, I wouldn't say really a parody, more of a
love letter,
a comedy, a love letter. Yeah, not really parody because it's not going down the same route. It's sort of a real world alternate kind of skewed approach to the subject because they're actors and not, you know, actual characters. But yeah, after seeing that trailer again, it was like, yeah, the movie is quite a bit different to how that lets on. And I was really happy with the final result after I came out of the cinema. I just thought, wow, that was way better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, still to this day, just one of my favorite comedies, favorite sci-fi comedies, and favorite sci-fi films in general, really. But after seeing that clip, I was just thinking to myself, well, you can really see where they got the idea for the Orville from. It just smacks the Orville after, you know, there's so much in that I've seen in watching the first season of the Orville. But I think the Orville's kind of started off as a comedy, and it's gone more sort of
Star Trek,
more serious sci-fi since that has gone on.
Trek.
Just like Family Guy did when it was like full on sort of slapstick for kids, and now it's gone full on adult entertainment. So that's kind of what Seth MacFarlane does, isn't it? Really, but yeah, this was the Orville before the Orville was even conceived, I think. But yeah, love it. I still love it now. Still love it. It's great.
Yeah, it's a great film. Z?
Oh God, I love this film. It's so great, isn't it? Such a unique take on things. It really reminded me of the Saturday Night Live sketch with William Shatner.
Yeah,
remember the Get a Life sketch?
Yeah. And that's hilarious.
It is absolutely hilarious, and it kind of echoes, you know, the sentiment of the actors towards the fans at the time. It was a goofy show that they worked on, but this was the only way that they were getting work. And I think they successfully captured it. They must have gone to a hell of a lot of Star Trek conventions. But I watched this twice on the lead up to this stream, and a documentary and a few other things, and it's so enjoyable. You can come back to it at any point, and it's like watching a classic Star Trek movie.
One of the few DVDs I own.
You still own DVDs?
Somewhere. They're in the loft somewhere. But it's just one of them feel good. If you're at a loose end, stick it on. Jobs are good.
And even though you know the jokes, it's still funny.
Yeah,
it is. It is. Commander.
This I absolutely love this movie. I'm up there with Mr. Z-3PO. This is it hits every note. There's a lot of reasons for that. I think a lot of people have already mentioned. I want to say the cast in particular is unbelievable. And I was reading the backstory, and there was some discussions. In fact, they lost Harold Ramis as the producer because the studio wanted Tim Allen for the role, and he wanted Alec Baldwin or somebody, or Kevin Kline, and it's like. No, each one of these you've got Sigourney Weaver, who did sci-fi, Tim Allen, who did comedy, Rickman, who does, serious drama, Tony Shalhoub, who's like a character actor. You've got like the heavy Sam Rockwell hitting light here. And it's like everybody meshes together so incredibly well that it's like watching each one of these, stars with everything that word connotes at their prime. And is able to act as freely as they want. For me, being a great movie is how rewatchable it is. And I could rewatch this movie I watch it every couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to remember too where Star Trek was when this came out. It was 99. The absolutely terrible Insurrection had just hit theaters. DS9 was in its final season, dying a slow death. Voyager had moved off of most people's radars and hadn't yet really hit its stride. And so when this trailer came out in the theater, I know we were panning the trailer a little bit, but it's like, wait a minute, is this a Star Trek movie? And as soon as you see the rock monster and like the Utah desert sort of, Shatner with the lizard man
Gorn.
setup, you're like, yeah, the Gorn, you're like, this is it. Oh my God. And it's Tim Allen. And as I don't know how he's viewed overseas, but Tim Allen to Americans is, when you see him in a movie, that he's going to treat it with respect.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a lot of love for fans, kind of the same way that Shatner does, right? Where he's an egomaniac, but he cares about the people who are important, which is the fans, if not the co-stars. And so it was the perfect casting for him. There was as I was doing my research for this, I came across a guy who's apparently an acclaimed writer and director named David Mamet, who I had never heard of, but I'm not in the industry. But he had written that Galaxy Quest was one of the 4 perfect films ever made, and The Godfather was one of those 4. So, Miss Renier is out there probably, scratching her nails across the board. But I would put Galaxy Quest and Godfather, sure, right in the same thing, because every single element to this movie comes along and it hits every single note. And so there's a reason it's become a cult classic, and it's one of the best. It carried Star Trek along, I think. It's the reason we have the Orville. It's the reason that fandom didn't, die of sadness in the early 2000s. And, so that's my take.
Okay, so other than that, you weren't into it.
I love this movie. It is also one of the very few physical medias that I have as well.
Yeah, same here. Jacob Ironside. Hello, Jacob. This movie beats any new Star Trek show.
Yeah.
Won't be too difficult, to be fair. Me doing a video of my cat on its litter tray would be better than Star Trek.
Try it.
I might do, actually. Okay, so right, lots of slides to get through, because I was going through the slides trying to narrow them down, and you know what, I just thought, this is just so good, fuck it, let's just get them in and we'll pile through them. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Brown Alliance, please like, share and subscribe, as it will help the channel, please. Okay, so poster.
That's a terrible poster.
Everything about the marketing was terrible for this.
Yeah, they didn't even spend any money on it as well, apparently.
This should have been like a big epic Drew Struzan style sort of Star Wars poster with all the sort of portraits of different sizes and ships flying in the background and explosions here and there, and really sort of epic movie poster from the beginnings of, or the heights of sci-fi from the late 80s. And what it's got is like just a cheap 90s sort of throwaway job, isn't it? For quick copy and paste Photoshop. Not good at all, this.
I'll tell you one thing, though, about this movie. I did fancy Sigourney Weaver in Alien, but I fancied her even more in this film.
Oh, yes.
She was so sexy in this film.
She was
ridiculous.
like 51 or something, wasn't she?
51,
yeah, I know.
52, yeah.
She's incredibly sexy in this film.
Yeah. You'll be happy to know, Mega Geek, that she kept the wig after shooting. So.
Oh wow!
Oh, it is somewhere. We'll be on auction from her estate someday.
Do you think she wears it at night sometimes?
I hope so. If I may, Cruel Birab, you should have videoed bathing your cat. Bathing a cat is a nightmare, but it went very well today. So, okay. So, yeah, everything about this is just, it's almost like everything is just on a missed beat, if you know what I mean.
This is DreamWorks, wasn't it?
Yeah, Spielberg's company. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They even got an apology from the studio though after the movie made its doubled its profits. I think because They didn't know what they had. I mean, this poster here looks like it's very similar to Tim Allen's The Santa Claus movie poster, where it's just Tim Allen in the center, everyone else kind of around. I had read, maybe you guys had too, like the only publicity that this movie got at all was Alan Rickman, who happened to be on holiday in Australia, just decided to do a couple interviews while he was there, and that was literally the only press that this thing got. And it opened behind, Stuart Little. It opened 7th place, I think, its first weekend.
I like the only review on the poster is 4 stars. Funny.
God, it's like if you look at just at the very, very top of the poster above Galaxy Quest, Tim Allen, Sigourney Weaver, Alan Rickman. If that doesn't warrant a little bit of budget and publicity, then I don't know what does.
It's almost like they didn't think it was going to work.
Massive stars at the time, yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, Tim Allen had just done Toy Story, hadn't he? And was only really known for Home Improvement, so he wasn't really a big bet at the time.
Mr. Angel.
Ricky Gervais doesn't think much of Tim Allen, does he? When he was introducing him,
he doesn't think much of anybody.
But is that some guy off TV? He said,
Mr. Angel in the chat. It's almost like they didn't want the movie to succeed. Yeah, agreed. And then Romeo Tango November Zulu. Sigourney Weaver is the stuff of dreams. Mostly adolescent boys, wet ones, and happy ones for middle-aged men, dudes. It's true, though.
Speak for yourself, Brown.
The thing is, though, I mean, I remember, I was obviously quite young when I saw Alien, and I remember seeing a picture of her in a magazine, thinking, oh my God, she's just the most gorgeous creature I've ever seen in my life. I was so into her at that point. And then when Galaxy Quest came along, I think it was years later, I just thought, God, she's still got it. Do you know what I mean?
She has. This one's for you, Brian. I know you like them a little bit more mature. Supergram is 96.
Yes, Time Prophet in the chat. Remind me that I'm Scottish for the 44th time this week. Thank you, Time Prophet. But otherwise,
is here all week, boys and girls. Okay, so let's press
when I saw Alien in those movies, I always had said to myself, I guess it's a good thing that they didn't pick the world's prettiest woman, but she certainly has the presence, but I don't see the sex appeal isn't there for me, and maybe it's not meant to be. But then when Galaxy Quest came out, I was still in my teens, and I'm like, oh my God, she cleans up really well, and I didn't know she was 51, or my thoughts might have shifted a little bit, but it was like, that's at that moment I realized, oh, Sigourney Weaver's quite a looker, and it caused me to reappraise my rankings of sci-fi babes.
I had another sexual awakening after this film. It was like the second one.
I thought she was really horny at the end of Alien when she stripped off. That bit where she strips off, and I was thinking, oh my God, this woman's gorgeous. I was thinking,
Sigourney, we love you. If you're watching this, Sigourney, we love you. Time Prophet, Sigourney Weaver was also in Doc Martin.
She was, yes, she was.
Doc Martin.
Yeah, she was. Basically, what happened was she was on a show, on Graham Norton's show, and what's his name? Martin Clunes was on.
Yeah.
And she said she loves Doc Martin. Anytime you want her to come on, she'll go on. And then they invited her, and she went on.
Fucking hell, top trivia.
Yeah. So there you go.
Right. Okay. So on 30 minutes, we'll try and start piling through these slides because there is a lot of them. So when you feel like you need to chime up, go for it. So on 30 minutes, let's do the slides. So DreamWorks, Spielberg's company, isn't it? And the movie starts off with the recap of the early 80s. Is it the early 80s show?
I don't know.
Yeah. So you got all the tacky special effects and sets. Still better than Discovery, though.
Oh, yeah.
There you go, boys. What do you reckon to that? Sigourney Weaver, 51 there. Unbelievable.
I think she's gorgeous in this film. I mean, I know I'm not allowed to say that today, but I am going to say it. So Sodom all, I think she's gorgeous.
Sodom all, that's very problematic doing that as well.
I don't care. Don't care.
Oh, Sigourney, we love you, especially how you looked in this. Incredible.
Even in Ghostbusters, she looked hot as well. In Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I was
not the new
reading in the research. One of the things that I found interesting was that the production crew, the special effects crew, had a really hard time making the old-fashioned 1980s ship look different from the new, for the length of the feature film ship. They're like, we've got to make it look completely different, but it has to be the same,
Yeah.
And so how do we do both of those? And they kept going back and forth on it, and somehow it came together, I think, as we can see here. The special effects still holds up, though, in this movie. I was sort of surprised.
It does.
Whether it's practical effects, they've got some CGI, but...
There were a couple... I think there was one scene which was a bit iffy, but we'll get to that in a bit. Shane Nolan. Hello, Shane. She said in an interview, with the blonde hair, she felt her boobs were getting bigger. Wow. So there you go.
Well, they had asked her, they said, how do you want to play this role? And she said she has to be blonde, right? Even though Sigourney Weaver's not blonde. And she has to be as busty as possible. And, I mean, and so they said, okay, well, we'll make it happen. And so this was the result. And I think that it all came out rather well.
I like it. Also it's in 4:3 aspect TV ratio type stuff for the recap.
Yeah, they switched it in the middle of the film, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like the first couple minutes was in small ratio, and then they widened it out, and that even caused problems for some of the theaters who didn't know they were supposed to widen the screen and stuff. And I'm not going to say I remember that happening, but like where all of a sudden now half of the movie is on the curtains. They're like, oh crap, let's widen it out.
They were being too good for their own good, weren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so the clip what they're showing is from was it the Lost episode that was only shown once? Something they're at this Galaxy Quest convention in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Captain's in 4:3 like Justice League. Yeah. So they're all waiting. This was actually shot at a convention, wasn't it?
That I'm not sure.
I think it was. I'm sure it was. It was kind of tailed onto, latched onto an actual Star Trek convention.
The conventions in the 90s, I don't know if you guys ever went, to those. They weren't like nowadays. They're celebrity events, Comic-Cons, in San Diego and stuff. But, they were sort of trailing off, weren't they, in the 90s? And, I went to a few conventions from a couple of different things. And every year that I would go, it was sort of like less and less energy. And you can see like in the energy of the crowd here is low.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we like the show, but I don't know what's going on. Is it really worth it?
Because they're waiting for them to come out, aren't they? And they're just, where are they?
I remember going to conventions in the 80s, well, actually early 80s, and it was full, but it wasn't as full to the extent of what you have now. And also, the queues weren't so long. You could get to see stars, fairly quickly, actually, and you never paid for a picture or anything like that. They never charged you. That's when I remember conventions. Suddenly, being a geek became really popular, and everybody was a geek, right across the board, from Brad Pitt to fucking Julia Roberts is saying now she's a geek. Do you know what I mean?
Whittaker,
I mean, there were stars were a lot more approachable then, and as you rightly point out, Mega Geek, they didn't charge for autographs. You'd get in a queue and you'd be allowed 3 tops.
Yeah.
and you just get your autographs and move on. And
And
even
as,
after the signature events, you could still approach them afterwards. You know, they would hang around in the bar or chat with people. I mean, I've had some very interesting conversations with some UK stars just by sitting down and having a chat.
As Brown says, right? I was there. I was there for the Selfridges when all the Star Wars people turned up from Empire Strikes Back. All of them, even George Lucas, and they didn't charge me a bean for them, you know, for them to sign my book or that. I think Mark Hamill gave me a picture, you know, like a signed picture of himself, and they were all really nice. Today, if you're going to queue up to see Mark Hamill, you're going to be there for like 2 hours tops before you even get to see him. And then on top of that, you're paying for a photograph. And then on top of that, you've been ushered away really fast. Do you know what I mean? It's
Ian,
crazy.
I was at one of the big shows in London a few years back. I think it might have been Star Wars Celebration. Actually, I can't remember which one it was, but Mark Hamill was he had his like little booth and he was in the distance, but he was behind loads of other booths, if you know what I mean. The way it was all set out was kind of like these kind of office space cubicles that were everywhere, and there were queues going all into this big area for, you know, various celebrities, and I could just see Mark Hamill in the distance, and he was just visible sort of between corners of different booths. And I thought, wow, look, Mark Hamill sat there like doing signings. So I got my phone out and held it way above my head and tried to zoom in just to get a photo of him. And this sort of Jobsworth Karen came up to me and sort of said, "Put your phone away. You have to pay for photos. In your pocket." You know, it's like Gestapo at these things, you know.
Yeah.
On a time, it was all very good natured, and you could, you know, it didn't. This kind
Image,
of thing,
copyright.
Everyone's there for the love of it. Everyone's there as a fan. You don't. You know, force people about like a prison. It was ridiculous, and that's when I realized, you know, that this has just turned into something completely what it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I'll tell you another story. Right, when I was at a convention, Michael Ironside was there, and I worked with Michael Ironside ages and years ago. It was like 7 years past, and he was there. And so me and Alan, my friend Alan, who'd worked with him, we decided to queue up just to see him and see if he'll remember us. And while we were in the queue, he looks across and he says, Ian, what are you doing in the queue? Just stand there. I'll come talk to you in half an hour. And we stood there. And you know what, right? The man was taking pictures with people and he wasn't charging anything for anything. And this was maybe 6-7 years ago.
Great man.
And then afterwards he took us for a drink afterwards,
Legend.
you know.
Oh,
so he's a really nice guy. You know, I'd have nothing bad said about Michael
Legend.
Ironside.
A legend.
He's a freaking great guy.
Yes,
Really
he's
is.
a legend.
It was like me and Zee have chatted before a couple of weeks ago about the Boreham Wood Star Wars show that I went to in like '93 or whenever it was, and the air of it all. It was because it was before the geek sort of hype took off, and you knew it was just the hardcore geeks that were there, and the outside world was still sort of looking down their nose at everybody, and we were kind of still shunned to the back of society and whatever, and we just got on with it because it was our love and it's what we were all deeply interested in, and we didn't give a toss about what anyone else thought. So we just got on with it and had a great day with other hardcore fans that genuinely really loved it. The place wasn't overwhelmed with people; you could still move about, and it was a really nice experience. And for the most part, it was really great, and I'd love to go back to one. But as you said, you know, these days, forget it. It's just huge business now, and it's all about the money. That's all it is.
It is.
People's enthusiasm and true fandom, and the way that people genuinely love and appreciate this kind of thing, has fallen by the wayside. It's just all about get the kids in, sell them merchandise, get them out again. That's all it is.
Yeah, I will quickly say, if I may, there is a vote for next week's film. If I do remember, it's a vote for The Wild Geese, Roger Moore, Godfather 2, and Beverly Hills Cop. So if you could vote, we'll probably keep it going for about another hour or so. Okay, so back at the stream, back at the convention, I think they're all in the green room waiting for Nesmith to turn up, aren't they?
Alan Rickman's looking super enthusiastic here.
Yeah, they're all getting a bit narky.
But he's still doing his makeup perfectly. That's what I like.
Yeah.
He's like, I hate my life, but this has to be just right.
Yeah. So there's Tommy. Where is he?
Apparently, he's imitating Leonard Nimoy at that moment in time. I can't remember who wrote this, but it was actually based on things that he witnessed or something. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I read. So, yeah. Because Leonard Nimoy used to turn up with these things with the ears on and everything, didn't he?
Yes.
So, and Alan Rickman's just obviously imitating it because he's turned up with the actual headpiece, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So
never took it off.
Yeah, even when he were in danger in space, he still had it on.
His hair's sticking out one
side. Out, yeah.
So the assistant is saying, no, he's not turned up yet. And there's a guy who
rates this actor, by the way? I don't rate this actor at all. A lot of people
Sam
keep
Rockwell.
saying to me, he's a fantastic actor. So I've seen him and stuff, but I don't really rate him. I don't know why. Anyway,
tell you what, mate. If you don't rate him, watch the film Mr. Perfect. I think it is.
I've seen it. It's terrible.
I love that film. Man.
So rubbish. Where he's like, who's he trying to romance? A woman that looks like a teenager, and he looks like her father. Who was it again? Who's the girl he was romancing in that film?
I'm trying to remember her name.
Kinder Kettrick, whatever her name is. You know, the little Jewish girl. She's famous.
Anna
Kendrick, yeah. She looked like his daughter.
Originally for this role, it was going to be Tony Shalhoub, who played Fred.
Oh, wow.
He auditioned for this role, but they decided to give him that one instead.
Right, here you go. Time Prophet, Sam Rockwell played the worst Zaphod Beetlebrox.
He did.
Yeah, it wasn't brilliant, was it?
No.
I didn't really appreciate that one.
No, I don't think I've ever seen that film fully. Some bits of it. Okay, so Nez Smith finally turns up, and Dane is having one of his panic attacks or hissy fits. They're still stalling, and he's off. He's off.
Like no one's going to notice him with the trench coat.
Yeah. He still hasn't taken the headpiece off.
Yeah, I know. It gets every time.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. It's great. Alan Rickman was fantastic in this.
Yeah, he actually hates sci-fi, but he thought the script was so funny.
Fucking great in this.
Yeah. And I always just knew him as the Die Hard guy, you know? I'm like, who is this guy? You know, it's got Tim Allen, but then there's this British dude. And well, he stole the show, didn't he?
I think what annoys me is the great Alan Rickman passed away a couple of years ago with cancer. And they just pissed about so long in production hell trying to get these people back together to do a sequel or something. And all of them were up for it. And they just pissed around. And
well, you know, there's one in the works again.
Yeah, Amazon.
Yeah, but they're
missing the point.
They always try to do that, don't they? Please create something new. I mean, God's sakes, you know, don't go back to this. Just leave it alone. But if they do make this, it'll be as woke as hell. So
yeah, it would.
Just leave it alone.
Yeah, I think the Orville has been a lot more popular being its own thing than a clone of this.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this is responsible for the Orville. I think, I think what's his name? The guy created the Orville. I think he had good intentions of making it a comedy. Then he realized that he could outstar Star Trek, and that's what he did in the end of the day. So,
and I think Amazon is doing the same thing they're doing with Lord of the Rings, where they said, "Oh, wait, someone else has a product that's making a dime. Let's copy it." And so they're just resurrecting whatever properties they have, and I think this one is in their folio, and so they're like, "Well, let's make it an Orville clone, like they're doing with the stupid Lord of the Rings thing." Let's just make a Game of Thrones.
I can imagine. Hail Mike Hunt, by the way. I can imagine now that the Orville has been so successful, Amazon are going to be right on it, trying to do this series, but too little, too late. Yeah. Too little, too late. Anyway, okay. So Right, let's move on. So they're finally coming out and being introduced. We're going to have to pile through these or we'll be here all night. And never give up, never surrender.
That's a great line, by the way.
Yeah. And so they're now signing autographs. And this is Guy saying he was in one of the episodes as an extra, wasn't he?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a homage to one of the actors on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Is a background actor called Guy Vardaman, who appears in several episodes of TNG as an unnamed crewman.
Oh, so hence why this guy's called Guy I forget his second name.
Fleekman.
Yeah, Fleekman. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just pile through these. So, Tim Allen, like a dog with two dicks. Gwen, look at him. He really knows how to treat his audience.
That was like Shatner as well. Shatner was praised for everything, and then the rest of them just kind of, had to take a back seat. And I guess they're just imitating it with him, aren't they? So
yeah.
Well, something that always struck me about that was it seemed like Shatner always appreciated his role. You've got the guy, Takei, or maybe not DeForest Kelly, but Leonard Nimoy, and people going, "Oh, I didn't want this role. I'm so much better than this. I should be a lesbian." Yeah. And it's like, come on, dude. You are what you are. You make people happy. You're a showman, and they didn't really embrace it the same way he did. And it seems to me, I'm kind of a Shatner partisan, but it's like that they dogged him for appreciating the audience, that appreciated their show and gave him a paycheck. And I don't know, it must be tough to work with an egomaniac, but it's like, come on.
It wasn't that they were angry with. It's basically the way he actually treated them when they were making the show itself. Like, for instance, Spock's character was meant to have the first interracial kiss with Uhura. And William Shatner quite politely said to the producers, it should be me rather than, and that's why JJ has got the relationship between Spock and Uhura in his film, because he knew that happened. It was based on that Spock was denied that, and so William Shatner ended up kissing her on screen, which caused a big hoo-ha in those days in the 60s. But William Shatner was forever stealing people's lines and telling, just whispering in the producer's ear that he should be doing it rather than Sulu, he should be doing it rather than Chekhov, he should be doing, you know what I mean? And so he gradually stole people's stuff, and that's what they don't like. Yeah, that's what they didn't like about Shatner. It wasn't because he was embracing it, it was because he was really rotten to the rest of them. Yeah, more or less.
Okay, so let's pile through these. Okay.
That's what I heard. Don't know if it's true.
So this is where Mazar turns up.
Hello.
And they think
we need your help.
We are the Thermians.
Yeah.
You are our last hope.
So this is going back to the toilet scene that Ian was talking about. I think this is the homage then to the Shatner in the toilet.
Yeah.
So Tim Allen's gone to the toilet and he's seen all the people at the urinals talking about
Klingons.
And this guy comes in and just starts slagging Nesmith off, doesn't he? When he's in the John, what a fucking loser and all that stuff. So, yeah, that's when he's getting a few home truths, isn't it? By a guy who's having a piss. Okay,
it's not nice to say things like that.
No,
ever.
No.
But you don't know if somebody's there listening. He's just telling the truth. He's really not actually lying to be mean, and he probably wouldn't say it to his face. He's just like, man, do you see what's going on out there?
Yeah, now everybody says it in social media, so
true.
You can hide behind that.
Okay, so he's kind of a little bit broken, isn't he, really?
Had the piss taken out.
Literally.
It does hurt, though. I don't know if you guys, it's ever happened to you when you've tried so hard on something and then you overhear somebody saying something really rotten about you, or you hear it through a second party. No matter how hard you are, it still hurts, especially if it's something you're passionate about. Do you know what I mean? So.
Well, and I think
me and Brown get it from Mega Cropper on a weekly basis on the Cap.
We do, yeah. I would just say, Captain in the chat says, Tim Allen ain't no leading man. I'd probably agree, but I think he just kind of did well in this.
I think it fitted really well in this.
Yeah,
yeah, he was very well suited.
Maybe by accident, but he did very, very well.
I didn't expect he was great.
Well, the one of the sorry.
I also love the way how he in several scenes he's actually mimicked some of William Shatner's mannerisms, which you can see throughout, so you can see the parallels. So he even picked that up as well. So I actually quite liked Tim Allen's performance.
What I was reading was that when they had Harold Ramis directing the movie originally, and the studio was trying to bring Tim Allen in, Harold Ramis kept saying, "Listen, this is a comedian who you want to play action scenes. That's totally wrong for this movie. What we need is an action star who can also play comedy." And that's why he kept trying to get Alec Baldwin in particular in for that role. And the studio they kept saying no. And then Harold Ramis said, "Well, I can't do it then," and left. But I disagree that it was a miscast. I think that it actually hit the right points. And later on, Harold Ramis agreed. He said, "I was wrong, and Tim Allen actually did a good job." So if Harold Ramis says it, it's kind of hard to disagree with the man. But
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right, because if they did cast Alec Baldwin and gave him a gun, I think there'd be all kinds of problems there.
Imagine the chaos he could cause with a phaser.
Yeah, exactly.
And with this scene here that we're seeing, it in a bathroom scene like that, it resonates, I think, because we've all heard stuff secondhand, or had our feelings hurt that way, where it's like, yeah, we're on the top of our game, we know what's people are looking out for us, and then it's just like, wait a minute. And again, so it's just one of those little small moments that helps you, the viewer, attach to the film, and it also takes the character forward a whole bunch.
This guy's famous, right?
Clownish. He is. He was
in Die Hard, the third Die Hard 4. Is it 4?
Yeah, number 4.
Yeah,
in the chat, Cosmic Kitty, the lot of you are trolls, and I'm reporting the content. Expect a knock at the door from the fun police soon. I hear the sirens.
Okay.
Moving on.
Good luck trying to get them to break down my fortress.
Yeah.
The Fortress of Fun, as we call it.
So this guy, what's the name of the
actor? I can't remember. He's he always plays geeks, doesn't he? He's been in a lot of films, a lot of teen films and stuff. So he's a good actor.
Justin Long as Brandon.
That's it. That's the fella.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he hated Star Trek, and he'd never, seen it before this thing. And the director was like, "You've never seen Star Trek?" He said, "You guys have heard of the documentary Trekkies, right?" He's like, "Watch this documentary to figure out what this role is all about." And he watched it, and he was like, "This is going to be awesome. I get to play a fanatic," and he played it so well. It never occurred to me that he wasn't like a fanatical fan, or something.
He was good, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was. I liked it.
So he's explaining. He's trying to go through. He's recapping some episodes to Nesmith, and Nesmith ain't having it, is he?
Not at that point. He caught him at the wrong time.
Yeah. Here we go. Romeo. Justin Long, awesome in Dodgeball. Yes.
Oh yes, yeah, he was. He was fun.
Then Jacob says, "Live Free or Die Hard movie." I don't think that Die Hard 4 was all that bad, actually, considering.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to want to slag it off. The film I thought was a bit weird was the one with him and Samuel L. Jackson. I thought the third one was just, it wasn't very good. And everybody kept saying it was really good. And I watched it and I was like, no, it ain't. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
I quite liked 4. It's, it did okay. Okay, so Time Profit, Secret of Comedy, Die Hard 4 was awful.
It wasn't too bad.
Cheers,
it wasn't
Time
too
Profit.
Bad. At least it was a Die Hard film. The last one was absolutely awful.
Never seen number 5.
That's terrible.
Never
Absolutely
seen it.
terrible.
That's where he went to do Putin
Russia.
in, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
went to Russia.
So this is Gwen DeMarco saying, "I've never seen him like this when when she's talking to Dane."
He's still got his thing on. It's hilarious.
So yeah, it's a nice house.
Yep.
So he's getting pissed, watching TV. Look at that for a pad. Not quite Tony Stark, but
that's the first thing I thought about when I saw that. It was reminiscent of Tony's.
I thought it looked a bit like Bruce Wayne's place from the Snyder Cut at the end with the Martian Manhunter scene.
Ah, right, it does. Yeah.
See, on the trailer, we see the kind of meteorite thing fly behind the house, don't we?
Yeah, that didn't happen in the movie.
Yeah, weird. Still a nice house, though. Okay, so he's blind drunk.
Been there before.
Yeah.
Apparently, William Shatner was caught like that a couple of times.
With his pants round his ankles.
Yeah.
Okay, shall I just pile through these and then somebody kind of maybe do a commentary over the top? I'll just try and keep them on long enough because there is a lot of slides. So
we're back again. The way they actually speak is actually his idea. Enrico Colantoni. He did the voice during the auditions, and they said, "We want the aliens to talk like this."
So he had to train all the other ones that came along. I was reading; they had like a little Thermian speech academy for all the extras and the people, how to walk, how to speak.
Yeah,
it's a real shame because a lot of stuff went into this movie, and it's a shame the way the studio treated this movie.
It's a crime.
I know, it's such a missed opportunity. This could have made an absolute fortune.
Well, that's well known now, anyway.
Yeah,
could have got some home video. Yeah.
Really good merch out of this as well.
Yeah, and we could
boy,
we could have had maybe 3 or 4 Galaxy Quest films, and we'd all be very happy.
No, I think it should just stay as one. I mean, the concept of one is the thing that makes it. Imagine doing another one where they now are experts at what they do. You know what I mean, or better what they. It just won't resonate.
It might be hard, yeah. And in the production, the original script was so different from the final product, even pre-production or post-production, because the actors, played off each other and changed stuff and added lines. That great line about, "Hey, how do we know there's air here?" That was just added right in, and a whole bunch of this interplay here in the car with Missy Pyle and Tim Allen, and it's like it wasn't in even the way the Thermians talked. So. Yeah, maybe I do agree. Even though I would have loved to have seen 3 more movies just like this, capturing lightning in a bottle, I'm happy to.
Well, at least the TV series of the original 80s would be good.
It'd be spectacular.
Be a
They're so cute. Remember that bit with the little aliens with the teeth? They're so cute.
Right, okay, so
come here, little guy.
Yeah.
So they're taking Nesmith to what he thinks is like an audition, but he's pissed up, isn't he? So he's not really aware of what's going on.
Okie dokie.
The scenes in the car are fantastic.
Yeah,
so funny.
Her translator is broken.
Hello, Matt G. We are waiting for the bacon.
Where's the eggs? Where's the bacon?
Yeah. So it's just they're giving the exposition of what they need him for, aren't they? Mm-hmm. And he's just saying, "I'm okay. I'm just going to rest my eyes. I'm listening. Just carry on."
And he does get it all, doesn't he? I mean, they don't have to repeat it.
So the car's turning up.
That was a good shot.
Yeah, the car going up.
Goes up, yeah.
Yeah, and then the dog a dog turns up and pisses on the thing, doesn't it? It's little things you see. Okay, so he's in the ship. And her translation circuit now is working.
Who's she again? She looks familiar in real life.
Her name is Missy Pyle. I don't know. Shall I IMDb her?
Rob, have you got the trivia on standby?
Like Spock's sister.
She was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Of course, yes.
Dodgeball.
Yep.
Yes. She has one of those faces.
Yes.
She looks like Spock's sister there.
Yeah, a little bit. Could have cast her for Michael Burnham. A little bit more believable.
I would have actually watched the show then.
Space Jesus. So back in space.
Back to a Star Trek.
The seats. So he's getting the tour of the ship, isn't he? And
yeah,
because he just thinks it's a really good like convention type thing, not realizing that it's like real life. Yeah,
he's like, this is pretty realistic.
Just thinks, yeah. He is great playing this part, I must admit. And then Saris. He's still not convinced, though. He just thinks it's an elaborate TV thing, doesn't he? So, okay.
Good makeup, though.
Yeah. So he's kind of just going, fire this, fire that, blah, 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 back home for tea or something. And they're all kind of, whoa.
But he did get him.
Yeah. What's he saying here? He's just he's wanting to go back now, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Back home. You've all been great. Great to see you. Blah, blah, blah. And this is where he gets the communicator, isn't it? Feel free to chime in, boys and girls.
It is where he gets the communicator, yes. Yeah. He's like, better than the props we had on the show.
And it's great because it even looks like a toy, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can actually buy these, can't you, as well? And this is where he's getting teleported. Well, it's not actually... Is it kind of... It's teleportation in a Durex, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a little pod that goes over them.
Yeah. Jacob in the chat, you saved us.
And this is where it changes aspect ratio.
Did it?
Oh.
Okay. When they open the doors.
Nice. Good way of doing it.
Space Jello. There you go. In fact, I will just... There you go.
Space Jello.
But that looks amazing, doesn't it? It's a beautiful shot.
You think, fucking hell, this is good acid.
Well, that's why Tony Shalhoub's character was Fred Kwan was so chill the whole time. He'd probably been doing whatever since the show had been canceled, and then he just comes on. He's like, whoa.
He played his part as if he was stoned throughout the entire thing.
He always plays that.
He's constantly snacking on
eating food, right?
Yeah. Crisps, yeah. And he's going, whoa. This is where he realizes it is actually real. And then he's going up a black hole. All been there, haven't we? We've all been up a black hole in our time. And then there we go. He's turning up in LA outside his house. That's a nice view, is that?
Must have made a lot of money in convention circuit to have a house like that.
Mm.
Okay, so let me just change the slides. So we are now at a because the Galaxy Quest crew just do all the conventions and store openings to earn money. And Nesmith drives over there because he realizes he's late, that he's got a convention to go to, and he's kind of excited that it's all real, it's all real. And then he bumps into the, what's his name? Brandon.
Switches the communicators.
Yes. And all the cast are not happy with him, are they?
They had to open that electronics store by themselves.
Yes. And then are they Thermians?
I don't know. Yeah.
Are Thermians from the Clatoon?
Yeah. Why did they turn up?
Don't know.
Commander?
Because Saris had come back and murderized them, blew up like what was left of their planet and space station, right? And they're like, can you come back? We need to renegotiate another surrender,
right? Okay.
And that's when, and then when they did go back, it was like, oh, this is all that's left of our planet and people. You kind of fucked things up, or screwed things up. And so he had to fix them.
Mr. Angel in the chat, that's not teleporting, that is travel by wormhole. And then Jacob Ironside by Grandfather's hammer. What a savings. Yeah.
Yeah, because the teleporting thing they hadn't perfected it. That was when that like pig dog thing down on the planet, like before, so they were using some other kind of teleportation.
Yeah, it's all based on the original TV show, isn't it, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Are you there? No, he's not.
Somebody?
Brian, you around?
He says burb.
Oh, okay. So they leave disgruntled, sick of this, and then they realise, an acting gig. Yes, travel by Comdom, yes. So they go into the storeroom, and she's explaining that the transportation is going to be ready, and then some lights appear on the floor. That'd be a good way to travel. Fred Kwan eating.
I love how his name is Kwan, but he's not Asian at all.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. Oh God, every little thing.
Okay, right.
Where does everybody go?
Let's pile these. Commander, I'm relying, because obviously you know this film very well. I'm relying on you here, buddy.
I'll do what I can.
Okay, so they get transported to the ship.
He's Monk, isn't he? That guy plays Monk.
Oh yeah.
TV show. He played Monk like he was on drugs as well, didn't he?
That's kind of his thing. He was in an X-Files episode too, where he played the same sort of a.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised in real life to hear him talking like a normal person.
Because a few of them went on to big starring acting roles and careers, and what I liked about this was the fact that they would jump at the chance to to do a sequel, because they all loved it.
Yeah.
And again, it was just the production hell.
Yeah, but not. I don't think it was the shooting wasn't really the production. It was the studio side that gave it the hell. From the not knowing what direction we're going to go to how are we going to market this. But the actual shooting and the way that the cast got along was famously good, I think. So that's all the more tragedy.
They caught lightning in a bottle without even realizing it, didn't they?
Yeah, it made all its money on DVD, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it made its money back in its regular run, but it's made just that and more.
Yeah.
In
cult
DVD
classic, cult status. Okay, so the guys are on the transport pad, and there's a door with noises.
They're going to get probed.
All these were created by the Stan Winston Studios. These aliens are fantastic, aren't they?
Spielberg wanted them to look a little bit more human-like, though, which is I'm glad they didn't go down that route.
Yeah, because it's more realistic. You're like, why would there be humanoid types? As frequently as there would be whatever the heck.
Time Prophet. Shaloub's father was from the Lebanon.
Oh yes, the Lebanon.
Mr. Angel, shooting was a blast. Indeed, the studio side was the issue, since there seems to have been a struggle about direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'd created alchemy and they didn't even know. Appreciate it,
yeah. He just sort of screams for like 10 seconds.
Yeah. Because he's terrified from the transporter, and then he sees these aliens.
I love his face.
Yeah. Again, alien probes, just so funny. And then he does his human appearance thing, doesn't he?
They're like, oh, we forgot our appearance.
And apologizes, yeah. So there you go. And then he's in his gear now, realizes it's real. Come and have a look at the ship. And then Rockwell did play it well, didn't he?
Yeah, very.
I think so.
And then
Sigourney Weaver didn't actually know that he was going to scream. So her reaction
that why she jumps, yeah,
is real. Yeah.
I need to watch the behind the scenes on this. It sounds great.
Yeah. What's wrong with them? I don't know. They walk off. They're just staggering.
Okay, so they're getting the tour of the ship. Dane is looking a bit unsteady on his feet. Thermians.
I love how the female Thermian has her top undone, just like Sigourney Weaver's character.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to have to pile through these because there's tons. So they're getting the tour of the ship. This is the kind of like the launch bay lift.
I love the design of that ship, man.
Yeah.
God damn.
You see the registry on the side? It's NTE 3120.
Which stands for?
Not the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
My God. My God, it's full of stars.
This is when they... Oh, yeah, Mr. Angel says that the one that they're poking Sigourney Weaver with was like a gynecological instrument. And that's what I always thought, too. I'm like, wait, I'm not a doctor, but isn't that... Never mind.
Well done, Mr. Angel. I shall have to have a look at that. Well done, mate.
You know, something I never appreciated when I first watched this movie is, you know, they talk within the movie, they talk about the Thermians and they talk about the fans and they talk about the actors, but the people who never get mentioned in the show, who should, are the original writers of the original Galaxy Quest show, because they got the science, you know, whatever science in that particular universe so correct that you could literally build actual spaceships out of the things that they came up with, a beryllium sphere and like where you find it and how it worked and all of that. And I thought, wow, that's good. You know, that was good writing for a show that never happened. You know, they should get those imaginary people to do Discovery.
Yeah.
But, you know, it would. And so anyway, I just always thought that was interesting. I was like, hey, they never mentioned those guys. Those are the real heroes, because without them, it would have just not come together.
I think the Discovery starship has sailed, don't you?
Oh my God, it's crashed and burned, and you know, it's a ghost ship sailing the Atlantic now.
Okay.
But
so still getting the tour.
Star Trek did the same thing, didn't they? Had mobile phones, they had iPads.
Yeah.
All that, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
So this is the barracks.
Communicators.
And we're going. It's like pouring gasoline on a flame. Does he say?
Yeah. He's like walking through the. Yes, I am your captain.
Little platoon in the chat. Why would Discovery need science? Moving on.
It also has Space Jesus. So.
Yeah.
And there is no situation that they can't cry themselves out of.
Yeah.
So what would the abbreviation of Star Trek be then if it's not sci-fi? With Phi-Fi?
I saw what you did there. Very good, Matthew. Well done. Is here all week, boys and girls? Okay, so we're going on to the bridge, which was built on a gimbal, wasn't it? That's a vibrating stage.
I think they could drop it up to 2 meters.
Wow.
2 meters.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
Break a leg, you know. Yeah.
I think
Why couldn't they just tilted the camera left to right like they did in the 60s version?
I think because it looks so bloody obvious. Have you seen the stabilized clips of Star Trek when they're going through turbulence?
Yeah.
And they're just throwing themselves around the set.
In different directions too. That's
they did that in the movies right. as well, didn't they? They tilted the cameras in the movies as well.
Did, yeah.
Star Trek 2 and stuff like that. So it works to a point, doesn't it?
Whereas on this one, they actually built it on a gimbal, didn't they? Which I would imagine was quite expensive.
Yeah.
That's when they were able to differentiate the 80s show from the, the original, the new stuff. Yeah. This one looked more real. They're really falling.
Yeah. So they're all there to watch this prestigious moment. Yeah. The ship's controls were designed from the TV series and how Tommy flew it in the TV series.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't we not discover as well their true forms? These aliens, when they beamed up.
Yeah, they were
squiddy things, weren't they? Yeah. Okay,
so Nesmith is explaining to Tommy that it was designed on
your moves. Yeah. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'd press these little buttons."
So the ship starts moving. There is a little error on this. Can you spot it? It's coming up in a couple of slides. So he's steering the ship. And he's not steering it very well, is he?
This is very easy. I can do this. Easy peasy, yeah.
The chrome accessories and things are very men in black, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So not the Enterprise. It's a nice docking bay. So it's going the wrong way.
One's leaning to one side.
Yeah, the budgerigars are enjoying it. This is the center of the ship, isn't it?
Yes.
So how can the center of the ship be hitting the space dock? Surely it would be the wings.
Yeah, because it's got the writing there on the side.
Because I don't think the angle either is all that sharp for it to do it. So
interesting.
I may be wrong. So lots of screeching noises.
Maybe there were scraping, but we just didn't see that bit. We just saw the nose.
Yeah.
And if you note there, there's a shot a couple of bits later from this where it's got actually no damage at all. So a bit of a technical goof on that one.
So they've left the space dock and they're going to the what's left of the homeworld, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look at that. That was great, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It does look great.
And they're having lunch, all dinner recreated from the TV series as well.
The delicacies.
Corn-fed beef something? And it was amazing. This is funny.
It's enough to put you off mastication.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
For a couple days at least.
Yeah.
Oof.
Ew.
Just jumps off the spoon.
And then jumps back in the water, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of getting a little bit of exposition of what's happened in the past. And that's one of the... is this the where one of the spies is caught and is getting tortured or something?
Mm-hmm.
And then they start panicking, don't they?
They're
'Cause they
like, we're out of here.
Fuck this.
That's when he explains that that's all they've got left of their civilization.
So in the meantime, Saris approaches.
Interesting side note. Allegedly, he's named after film critic Andrew Saris, who hated the producers Mark Johnson's film, The Natural. So they decided to portray him as an arsehole.
The Natural was a great movie.
Stan Winston, again, great special effects.
That's the head of the last commander who couldn't raise the shields fast enough.
Great production on this film.
You know when you're looking at practical effects, don't you? It's just
just fantastic. Nesmith is just saying, misunderstanding, blah, 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 trying to smart talk his way out of it.
Gives him that cut signal.
Yeah. What are these big red thingies? MC Stan Winston is amazing.
He is. National treasure.
Yeah.
Perhaps I'm not as stupid as I am ugly.
So the missiles coming towards the ship. Firing on the ship. Here we go. One of the rocket goes off, so they try to escape. Ship follows. Oh wow, Mr. Angel, Oscar for the villain's makeup. Well earned, mate. Brilliant.
Who played the main bad guy again? Was it Robert Stack or someone like that?
Robin Sachs.
Okay.
Saris. Sounded
it was Robert
British.
Stack.
Oh, he played. He was the presenter of like Unsolved Mysteries, and he did like loads of small roles in other films,
detective shows and stuff.
Yeah,
yeah, he was good. R.I.P.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, Robin Sachs.
Okay. So let's get out of here. And he's pressing the hyperdrive. Full speed. Because this is it's the beryllium sphere, isn't it? It's gonna
crash.
Oh no, it burns. Sorry, forgive me. It burns. It's basically burning the engines out, isn't it? And they need a new beryllium sphere because it gets damaged. That's the engine room with the bodies flying around in the background, which is quite funny.
They're telling me we're gonna have to slow down.
Then the engines go, don't they? We're going into a minefield, flying it straight into a minefield. Magnetic mines. Boom. Cyrus is just staying there, isn't he? Outside the minefield. So as you can imagine, it's pretty rough on the ship.
Yeah, I'm surprised it held up that well. You know, that's one of the things that kind of takes you out of the movie a bit. You're like, this thing would get thrashed. But
Sigourney Weaver would get thrashed.
Now, calm down, Mr. Brown.
So the ship is dead. It's a nice ship.
It is.
The bridge looks quite dark. Not good. You broke the bloody ship. Okay, so Section 3, boys and girls. So, damage report, yes.
I love how it looks just like the Next Generation, or you can tell that's where they pulled it from, the conference room there with the big screen and the table.
Yeah. So, explain what's been happening. Gwen is repeating verbatim. Not good, is it? Tommy's got his arm broken. Does he say to Sigourney, that is really doing my nerves in? And
something like that. And she's like, that is all I do on the show. I just repeat.
Okay.
If you notice, every time Tim Allen asks a question, the computer won't answer him.
Mm-mm.
It'll only answer her because that's the way it works in the series.
Oh, right. Okay.
So she has to ask the questions because the computer won't listen to him.
That's why she embraces it eventually in the end, like Star Trek actors embracing their role.
So what are they saying here? I can't remember.
He's saying, isn't that the part where he's like, you inspired me so much, and he's telling him how great he is, and he's just kind of like, Dane's just like, oh,
yeah,
trying to beg him off.
So you can see the beryllium sphere in the background burnt out.
I love how Fred is the only person who actually asks the aliens for their opinion.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to wing it and trying to work out what's going on, has little meetings and say, well, what would you guys do?
And because they actually know, they actually built it.
Yeah, and they know how the ship works.
Right.
So passing on actual technical information, and they're all just standing there like amazed that he's done this when they were the ones that gave him the answer in the first place.
Right.
So have they realized? Have they found out where there's a beryllium sphere now? I think so. Yeah, because they're going to the planets.
A whole bunch of beryllium spheres.
Yeah,
all just laying around.
What was the scene? This was the guy. Is the Thermian on the left? Dane's his hero, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's like patterned his whole life after his, philosophies.
And Dane's going, whoa, 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 whoa. So they're going to the planet. It's a nice docking bay.
Space shuttle.
Yeah. And they're given a tricorder type thing. Very Star Trek.
I wonder, did they ever approach William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and the cast of Star Trek to do this? That would have been great if they were playing themselves.
Didn't the Next Generation crew, weren't they gutted they never made this film? They wanted to make it, didn't they? Because the script was floating around for ages.
Don't know about that one.
I know the Futurama cartoon did something, similar with the original crew.
Yeah, I know the Next Generation crew were massive fans of this film.
Mm-hmm.
So he's given his tricorder and he says thanks. So to the planet.
Munchies.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, he was the coolest one there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was, wasn't he? Everybody else was panicking and stuff.
Guy is having his panic attack.
He realizes he's a red shirt, basically.
He's a red shirt. Yeah, this is the red shirt scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're always the first one to die.
Yeah.
Oh, Mommy. Sigourney trying to calm him down. You could just tell that we're all having a blast.
Mm-hmm. Somehow that carries through on films, even if it's not a comedy. It's like you can tell that the actors really want to be there.
Yeah. Quan still eating.
Yeah, Monk.
Yeah. So the shuttle lands. I would say because it's CGI, I think you can tell with this. It still looks good, but you can just tell on this. You couldn't really at the time, but I think you just kind of desensitized to it all now. And this is where he's panicking that, how do you know there's oxygen?
Yeah.
Which is weird because you never see them do that when they go down in shuttlecrafts. Is check for environment outside.
Mr. Angel, oh God, I'm a red shirt. Oh God, I'm a red shirt. I am doomed. Moment, yeah.
And they Rockwell. Still. Oh,
Sam Rockwell based his portrayal on Bill Paxton in Aliens, who's also panicking about being killed all the time.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's a bug hunt.
And they never actually check whether there's air in the in this scene. They're freaking out about it, and then they just open the door anyway. It's like, well,
smells good to me.
Yeah. So
they've gone to a mine. They've gone to a location where there's lots of beryllium spheres.
Mysteriously organized.
Tricorder. I think it's got it the wrong way around.
That's a reference to Leonard Nimoy in the first series of season of Star Trek, because he several episodes have him holding the tricorder upside down.
Well, that's why Mikey Spock was holding the phaser backwards. It was just an homage.
Of course.
She should have shot herself with it.
Oh, if only.
Get
Alec Baldwin on the set.
Yeah, all the nods are here, aren't they?
They are in this very chat. All the nods are here.
Nods, nod.
Oh,
to the original Star Trek. Yeah.
MC's gonna throw down. Who was it that was saying Sam Rockwell sucks? Wasn't me. MC.
Me.
That was the
Mega
captain.
Geek.
Me. I didn't. I don't really like him. I know a lot of people say he's a really good actor, but I've yet to see him in something that I think he's really good in. So I don't understand where this thing comes from, where everybody says he's a really good actor.
Harvey Weinstein told them.
Probably.
Iron Man 2. Was he in Iron Man 2?
Yeah, he was okay in that, but he wasn't he wasn't anything to write home about his performance. You know what I mean?
What about Moon?
He was good in Moon.
No, I hated Moon. What a load of bollocks that film was. My God. What a waste of my time.
With a very problematic actor, which we don't mention his name anymore. Okay.
And the director was the son of someone. Explains how he got that
David
job, doesn't it?
Bowie.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. He kind of looks like Dana Carvey trying to be serious when he's doing his own thing. Sam Rockwell now. I don't know. I'm looking at some of his stuff now. I'm like, oh yeah, that's all that stuff he's done. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of his stuff to have a dog in the fight.
Mr. Angel, not seen this movie in years. Still remember every second of it. Yeah, I it's been a long time since I watched it. I watched it about 4 weeks ago to do the slides. Such a good film.
That really is a mark of a good film, isn't it?
Such a good film.
You know who really likes it? Ben Stiller loves this film as well, because he's a huge Star Trek fan. Ben Stiller.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good comedian.
In fact, Ben Stiller's got the Gorn head. He owns it.
Just the real one.
Yeah, he owns the real one. Yeah.
Speaking of fandom, Tim Allen was really freaked out when Sigourney Weaver joined the cast because he's a massive fan of hers, and he got her to sign some of his original Aliens props that he'd bought.
Wow.
And apparently really pissed him off because she wrote on it, "Stolen by Tim Allen. Love Sigourney Weaver."
Oh, I'd really like that. I'd go with that joke. I really like
Sassy.
So we've got these are green aliens, but on the trailer they were blue.
Yeah, they were. Maybe they color corrected them or something.
Well, they are CGI, so they can do anything really with them.
As we know, they can fix anything in post.
Well, almost everything.
Yeah.
Couldn't fix the last three Disney Star Wars films.
Yeah, they can't fix a bad script, can they?
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, Ian, you're going to be in for the Obi-Wan streams.
Nope. Not watching it. Not watching
I'm with
it.
you. I'm with you.
Not interested at all.
Well,
I'm just going to wait for someone to tell me if it's woke or not, and then.
Oh, you know, Ian,
I'll be
it's woke.
Brown if you pay for my therapy.
Ian, it's woke. Matthew, okay. Moving on.
I'm not interested in that stuff anymore. I can't watch them. You know what? I watched the Batman, and you know it was very subtle, but I did see the woke stuff in it, and unfortunately, I can't unsee it. You know, and that's the thing with this stuff now.
It's probably for the best, Ian, because one of those Boba Fett streams, I honestly thought you were going to have a breakdown.
I stopped watching it though. I stopped watching it from. I think the last time I was on,
the last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, the
last. All apart from the last one.
I know. I think I stopped watching it from the coloured bikes thing, or did I?
You're in for the Moss Vesper episode, but and that's when you kind of like, this is so shit. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
The little platoon is correct. They couldn't fix Henry Cavill's mustache.
You know what? I was talking to somebody about that. I think I was talking to you, Bran, on one of your streams, and I said, "Why didn't they just let Superman have a beard?" Do you know what I mean? I mean, it just makes no
then
sense.
He'd
Why
be
would they
evil
remove
Superman?
it? Exactly. It's so stupid what they did.
Henry Cavill's mustache actually looks like Sam Rockwell's mustache in this movie. So maybe a teleport at time travel.
I'll just say Superman and Lois this week, really good.
I'm still not woke.
No, it's brilliant.
Good lord,
yeah, it's brilliant.
Miracle.
Again, boys and girls, Superman and Lois is the best program you are not watching.
Did Superman get Lois some burgers and stuff so she can fatten up a bit? Has he done that yet?
No, the actress playing her actually looks
thin.
Exactly how you'd think a Lois Lane would look, to be honest.
I don't think so.
Well, no, she behaves like you'd imagine her to. There's a lot of callbacks over to Margot Kidder.
And I was going to say, did Lois Lane buy Superman a razor?
He shaves with his laser, doesn't he? Time Prophet refused to watch Superman and Lois.
Oh, okay.
You're lost, buddy.
Yep, you're missing out.
You are.
Why does he refuse to watch it? I hear there's nothing but good things.
Because he's the Time Prophet and he's allowed to.
I see.
Plus, it's on the CW, and most people have preconceived ideas of what the CW is showing. So
isn't it?
a lot of people will avoid it just because it's on the CW. But rest assured, it is their crowd jewel.
Yeah.
But they're going down, aren't they, CW? The company's going down.
Yeah, it's for sale.
I won't buy it. If it was 2p, I'd buy it. Definitely.
How much?
2p, I'll buy it.
How much? Okay, so let's get back to the film. So the little aliens are mining, and this miner is injured.
Are they mining the beryllium spheres, or do they like
slave
steal
child
them from
labor?
Okay. I can never figure out, like, because it looks like there's a lot of wreckage there. Like they would attract other ships and then like eat them, the people, and then like hold the beryllium sphere as like a trap, to get other aliens to come down because it's a valuable resource. I don't know.
It's almost like alien child labor. Moving on.
It's like
Wookiee, Wookiee Fever 1969. The Superman show I was into was Lois and Clark. It's almost like Lois and Clark, but 20 years later. It's really good.
I never bought Lois and Clark. Really, this couldn't convince me with those actors.
Who's the girl that played Lois in that one?
Terry Hatcher.
Terry Hatcher. Oh my God, she was nice. Let's face it.
Romeo, agree. Superman and Lois is good. The side plots are a bit shit. Yeah, some of them are, but Superman himself is great, and Bizarro, yes.
I thought it excellent take on Bizarro, because before he's been played as an idiot, a reverse Superman who just mucks everything up. But this guy's actually really sinister.
Yeah. I like the idea of that. It's good.
So Gwen is. Oh, we've got a bot in. Could somebody take care of the bot, please?
There's not one shot of Sigourney Weaver where she doesn't look hot, is there?
Yeah.
No, she looks hot all the way through this movie.
She does.
Too bad they cut out the scene where she seduces the alien.
Yeah.
Put that in my private collection.
Yeah.
Because she's going, oh, look, oh, come
He's
here,
got
little
a hurt
alien.
leg.
Come here, little alien.
It's really interesting how you don't see their private lives in this film. All the characters that are in this film, you'd think that someone like Sigourney would have been married, had kids, and and the same thing with the other characters, but they didn't really, did they? So,
yeah, they don't really go into that at all. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
I'm sure Amazon will. Okay. So this is where the aliens are just attack the lame one.
Like little babies, don't they?
Yeah. So they're off. This is where they're trying to come up with a plan, aren't they, to get one of the spheres? And Tommy's doing his crow impression. Aha, aha. Tim Allen is going. I think he's going after the sphere, or he's got one. Oh, here we go. So they're going to get one yet. They're rolling it out.
Still got his snack bag. It's hilarious.
No. And the aliens chasing them. Here we go.
What's that in the background? Who's got a bird?
Commander?
Sorry. I've got many birds. One is just rambunctious today. So,
all right. No worries.
Spring is in the air.
Yeah. This scene, it does look a little bit CGI.
Because it is.
Yeah, whereas the one previously was not bad.
It was early days, though, I guess, for this kind of
and then these
1999.
just these
Very
appear
early.
to be the actual blue instead of green, like they were on the trailer. It's almost like maybe they've forgotten to just correct the color. I don't know.
Well, they thought it was too bright and they toned it down a bit.
Time Prophet, does Mega Geek live in an aviary?
Well, that would be me, Commander Culture. I do live in an aviary, yes.
Nothing to do with me.
I have something to eat my enemies.
Yeah, so the sphere is in the back of the shuttle, and they're too heavy to lift off something.
Yeah, so he jumps out, but that goes to show what kind of character he really is. I mean, yeah, he may be a drunk and an idiot and stuff like that, but Hero lives inside of him. Do you know what I mean? So this is the scene where he shows that he'll sacrifice himself for his friends, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice
and he's
touch.
also he's an actor, and so now his role is to be the captain, the real captain, and so he's like getting into it. Which is like, why is he getting into it? He's just like us, he doesn't have to sacrifice himself. He's not the real captain, but he is.
So the ship takes off,
and they care, just like Afghanistan.
I mean, just jumping forward a bit, I love the bit where they're trying to figure out the beam me up thing, and Monk looks at that woman. He becomes heroic all of a sudden, and he just corrects it.
Yeah. Okay.
So funny.
So Nesmith is on the. He's fallen out the shuttle, and this is where we get some dialogue. That's strange.
He gets
It
gets
looks
hit
like
by
a child.
Gets hit.
What should we do?
Let's eat him.
Hit it with a rock. And
then we'll eat it.
And then bang. The script so on point, isn't it? And then so they didn't eat him. So there's a massive tongue licking his face. I think there was there a child or a child actor in that?
Don't know.
Because
it
was practical.
It was practical, yeah. Such great special effects.
Mm.
And this is the beaming scene, which is piss funny.
It's funny that they think, that this is the adversary, but it's likely that the little aliens put both of these creatures in to get sacrificed and killed by the rock monster.
Going back to the where everything's gone wrong meeting, voice of computer, negative. There is no replacement beryllium sphere on board. Gwen DeMarco to crew. No, there is no replacement beryllium sphere on board. Very good. So this transport has been untested and modelled from the TV show, but untested.
Mm.
You're going to have to fight it because he's having a panic attack, isn't he?
We missed a really good joke when he was rolling around on the dirt. Do you remember that scene? When they were on the planet.
Yeah,
and he was like rolling around like Captain Kirk in the dirt and he loses his weapon.
His shirt. Oh.
Yeah. You remember that scene before this scene? Do you remember when they were coming around the corner and he was just rolling around and it was like they were taking a mickey? No, you don't remember, obviously.
I remember the one where she's like, oh, there goes his shirt again.
Oh yeah, that's
like
that's in this scene. Yeah, that's in this scene.
But back, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
And this is where the Thermian's going, ooh. What's he say? It's a privilege to see the master at work or something.
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, okay.
Although he's never used it, though, has he? In real life. So he's trying to lock on. They're doing it. Are they going to beam the creature up first as a test?
Yeah, and it went spastic. So
yeah.
It's inside out, and now it exploded.
And exploded.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I like about this movie is that it has a 3-act structure, which a lot of movies seem to forget these days. It's very simplified as a 3-act structure, and it does it very well in this film.
So the alien's been beamed up, and it's not looking too good, is it? So
it's crap all over.
It's convulsing, isn't it? And then Stan Winston studios are fantastic, aren't they?
Mm. Was Stan Winston responsible for this?
Yeah, the studio was, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the great Stan Winston. And then
even Quan looks a little horrified.
Beam me up, beam me up. Did it work? Did it work? And then he goes, it turned inside out and exploded. Just brilliant. Yeah. Then he goes, and exploded.
Like the flash just falling off slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuck on the communicator.
You see a part actually fall off, don't you? Like probably totally unrehearsed, and it just did it. It's fantastic. Yeah. And then this is the homage to Star Trek V, isn't it? Stream killer.
Yeah, it is. The Gorn scene.
No, Star Trek V at the end of Star Trek V when Shatner wanted the rock monster, didn't he?
Oh yeah, that didn't happen though. Yeah,
because of the budget and the test footage, it didn't look real.
So because they didn't have ILM. ILM was busy doing another movie.
Yeah,
but we did get
Crusade.
What was Starship? Yeah, we did. We did get that. So.
We've actually got Star Trek V in the bank to do at some point.
Does God want a starship?
Indeed. And then the rock monster. I wonder what Shatner thought when he saw this. Because it was only literally, 10 years?
Did he not say he doesn't watch TV and he hasn't been to the cinema for a long time? I remember one interview he said that. Or am I mixing up somebody else?
Here we go. Found something. Here we go. William Shatner has seen this film and apparently enjoyed it. He said how jealous he was that this production was allowed to introduce rock monsters 10 years after Paramount Studios refused to let them include them in Star Trek V: The Final Frontier.
Well, that was because of the money, as Brown says. The budget was limited, and also ILM wasn't assigned to do the effects. I think they used 2 special effects companies, and some of the effects were really bad in that film.
Some of the effects that were shot for that film, there are a couple that do look quite good, but on the whole, it looks poor.
Yeah,
which was a shame. Okay, so the rock monster is forming. I think the rock monster even has testicles, which I thought was quite good.
It's his vulnerable spot.
Yeah. I don't think Star Trek V is all that bad. Actually.
I think it's awful, personally.
Terrible.
I'll disagree.
Really?
It looked shit.
Let me ask you a question, right? So, Lieutenant Horror Howell, there was the actual actress, and she was doing a dance with no clothes on.
Yeah, I know. I know. At least everybody got something to do in that film.
Yeah, bad things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible movie.
Well, I disagree.
I do like the.
It's
I do
bad
like
in
the,
places, but yeah.
I do like the concept, the idea, but I think it was done badly. The execution was bad.
Yeah, I think just down to money, if anything. But there you go. Okay, so this is where Tommy's saying go for the vulnerable spot, isn't it? And then Dane, was he saying? Going, but is any excuse to get his shirt off? Something I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh no, he goes. It's all about bloody you, isn't it? So the rock monsters grabbed him. Very convincing CGI. This.
I wonder what William Shatner actually thought of this film, because it was obvious it was a mick take of all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously not going to say, is he?
Well, I had read a quote where somebody had asked him what they thought of Tim Allen's performance, and he didn't pan it, or he didn't like say it was great. He kind of made a joke out of it. He's like it was curious. I couldn't figure out who he was trying to portray, and and it was like, okay, but Tim Allen himself said he wasn't riffing off of just Shatner. That there were a couple of other sci-fi films and greats and captains and stuff that he was looking at, but obviously we all know. And you think, it was an honorable enough portrayal. I don't think that Shatner's skin is so thin that he would have gotten offended by that.
Its heart was in the right place. This film from the first minute, you could just tell. Yeah, it was a love letter.
Shatner wasn't the only Star Trek captain to watch this either. Initially, Patrick Stewart refused. Because he thought it was poking fun at the franchise. But Jonathan Frakes convinced him to watch
Brent
it.
Spiner, yeah.
And he became friends with the cast.
Yeah, but he was very much into himself when he actually first started Generations, wasn't he? There was all those stories about him being too serious and everybody was telling him to lighten up and stuff like that.
And then he embraced it, didn't he? Because he had his
fun of the franchise himself by creating ST.
Yeah, he was living out of a suitcase, wasn't he? He thought it'd be all over after one series. Time Prophet in the chats. He talks a lot of bollocks, but occasionally comes up with a gem. Kelvin Star Trek makes Star Trek V like Shakespeare. It does, mate. It does. Time Prophet again. Can't stand new Star Trek. It is awful. Anybody watch Picard this week?
No.
Why would I watch Picard?
I watched the last episode of the last season, and I'll never watch that show again.
That's right. And how comes Q doesn't figure out he's a robot?
Yeah,
they've conveniently forgot about all that.
Exactly.
You know what's going to happen? Right at the end of this, he's going to click his fingers, and he'll be human again,
and the same age.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Stupid.
no place like home.
I've seen it, and I will say I saw the first 1.5 episodes of season 1, and it was shit. So I've not really seen all the bad work of what happened. If this had been if this had dropped as the first series, and I think Little Platoon will agree with me, considering it's Kurtzman, I'd have thought, okay, I'll go with it. It's not great, but I'll go with it. But it suffers from the you cannot unsee it syndrome.
Mm-hmm. It ruins the headcanon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the question is, as I keep saying, why are you supporting this shit? Why are you watching it? That's the big question. If you're a real Star Trek fan, you would not watch it. But you are watching it.
Curiosity.
No, it's not
Kill the cat.
Curiosity. Just, are you bored or something, or what? Or doesn't it not make any sense to you that if you watch it, you support the idiots that destroyed Star Trek? It's either one or the other, right? So
that's me told, boys and girls.
No, I'm just saying.
Ian, you're right, and I think we said this last time. You're absolutely right, mate.
Yeah, I can't bear to watch it. Same with the Star Wars stuff. I didn't watch The Mandalorian. I didn't watch Boba Fett, whatever, blah, 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 because I actually care about those stories and those characters. And so, I mean, I'm curious about what, like curious to watch car wrecks. I also watch car wreck videos on YouTube. It's great fun. But like, you know, you have Doomcock talk about it. You know, you have Critical Drinker. You have Gary Beekler, and
so making the money from it.
And that's good enough, you know, for me, because if I log in, then I'm just one of many people who's logging in to watch their car wreck burn down, you know, my favorite, you know, franchise. And so it's like, Star Trek died, because for me, like, headcanon is a really, really, really big deal. And even the Star Trek or the Star Wars prequels messed with my headcanon, you know, and so this stuff is just like, you know, devilry, and I can't even abide it. So
I will say on 2 hours, I'm going to close the poll for next week's film choice. So if you're not voted, boys and girls, you got a couple of minutes. So I'll try and remember to reveal the results. Okay, so where are we then? So yeah, Wookiee Fever 1969. All the new Trek shows are of no interest to me. It's shit. You're right. It is. And Little Platoon set up for this season of Picard is the world turned to fascism at some point. Coincidentally, the next US election. Yeah, I never thought about that.
I'm a fan. I'm a Star Trek fan. I'm a huge Star Trek fan, a huge Star Wars fan. I mean, who really isn't? But as I said, right, I cannot support nonsense like what they're producing now. I just can't.
Yeah,
I'd rather stop where I stopped. Just leave it.
Time Prophet is exactly where I was, really. 2 seasons of Discovery. Yeah.
Oh, I suffered the third one and stopped there.
Episode 2, season 3. That was me done.
I gave them all a chance, though. I saw the first season of Discovery and the second. I gave Picard a chance. That was just woeful. Yeah. You know, and you know, the Star Wars stuff I gave a chance, and the Marvel stuff, and all of them have one thing in common. They're all woke.
Shit.
Yeah, and badly written as well. So what more can I say? Why would I keep watching shit like that?
Valley writing. Okay, so right, okay. So Nesmith is battling the rock monster. Let's pile through these. So Fred's having his panic attack. Can't do it. And he's getting his ass kicked, isn't he?
He's lucky to be alive.
Yeah. The only other rock monster was the rock monster in Neverending Story. It's the only one I remember.
Has that finished yet?
Never ending
Still going
story.
on.
No, it's still going.
It's still never going to end.
Yeah.
If it did, I'd want my money back.
Now. I'm
Ask
going to
him to
die.
Say my name.
He sees that girl, doesn't he? Yeah, he sees that girl. He just made me laugh, that scene.
Yeah. Here we go.
Ooh.
In fact,
yeah.
In fact, he was the guy in Men in Black, wasn't he? The guy who owned the shop. Remember that?
Was
Men
yeah.
in Black?
Yeah.
He was.
I did not forget that. I'll have to go back.
Now, Fred. Now. And he's going to get it. And then, whoa.
This is actually a scene as well that J.J. Abrams stole for the 2009 Star Trek movie when Kirk and Sulu destroy the Romulan drilling platform. They're falling and Chekhov beams them back in. He got that from this movie, as he thinks that Galaxy Quest is one of his favourite Trek films.
Yeah, but I did like that version of Star Trek. I thought that was a really good idea to reboot it like that.
Yeah,
but
I really enjoyed the 2009 one, but they got progressively worse.
It's not perfect, and it does take take liberties at times, but I think they went with the best intentions to do something decent.
Yeah.
Well, along those lines, the story line for whatever the rebooted Galaxy Quest would be exactly that, where there's a new Galaxy Quest crew, where there's a new Captain Nesmith and there's a new Tawny Madison, and then there's the old people and like how they have to deal with that. That's what I had read when I was reading about the production notes and stuff of how it's spinning up, and I thought that would be interesting. Because it's not just like, oh, we're out there in space, now we know our thing. It's the Star Trek dynamic that's going on now, where you have original canon and you have like a JJ verse of Galaxy Quest, and like how that dynamic plays out between the two, camps, and then also with the Thermians or whoever the alien protagonists are.
Right. So the results are in for next week's film, boys and girls. So in reverse order, number 3. I thought this had been number 1. The Wild Geese with 19%. Then second, The Godfather 2 with 26%. And then the winner with 53% is Beverly Hills Cop. So there you go. So next week we're doing Eddie Murphy, folks.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, we're doing that one, are we?
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm telling myself, get the fuck out of it. Yeah. Great film. Well done, Fred. And this is where it kind of gets what position we're at. Is it installed?
I think
blah, blah,
it's
blah.
really funny as well that when he gets on board, they've got a new thing for him to wear as soon as he gets on. Like they've watched so many episodes.
T-shirt, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
They just
I never
expected
caught
him
that.
to
never
come
thought
back
that, yeah.
shirtless.
Okay, so we're on the last set of slides. So hopefully we'll finish by Wednesday. Right, okay, so they're just about to leave the transporter room.
Ceres.
Yeah. Matheson's been tortured. Not looking good, is he?
Did he have the eye patch the whole movie, or is that a new
I
addition?
don't know. I think the first time you see him, he doesn't, or is it the same character? I'm not sure.
No, it's he doesn't have it at the start. It's on the second encounter that he has it, and they base that on General Chang from Star Trek 6.
Oh, right.
See, it's all there, isn't it?
I love General Chang. He was fucking awesome, wasn't
it's
he?
all there.
Right, I'm gonna slip that dogs off war. Do you remember that scene? So good when he's in that chair.
Jacob Ironside, CBS can polish STD shit all they want. It's just shit.
What's that new one that's coming out? The one with Pike? I'm not going to watch that either.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I
Worlds.
reposted the trailer, and it's just jangle them keys.
Not interested at all.
You remember Enterprise, don't you? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. What a waste.
The only highlights of recent Star Trek, Anson Mount as Pike. So there you go.
They could make all of these really good. You know, I mean, every single one of these, Boba Fett, The Strange New Worlds, there's so much there to mine, you know, but it's like they're just, you know, tilling it under and taking a dump on it.
MC Christopher Plummer, awesome in ST6. Brilliant. Great film is that.
If they just give the audience what they want, then basically we will respond, and then people will start watching. But that's not what they're going to do.
The shareholders will be making money, but they don't want. They just don't want to do it, do they? I don't understand the logic.
Nor do I.
They somehow kind of pulled it together with the Spider-Man movie. You know, I
Sony,
didn't see the
Japan.
Ghostbuster movie yet, but yeah, I mean, but it's like somebody out there wants to make money, and you'd think that formula would percolate through their 2-inch thick skulls. But
it's I'll tell you one thing though, mate. It really did it for me. The last Bond film by killing off Bond, and if you see the latest Batman movie, it has the same kind of thing in it. It's like they don't.
No spoilers for me yet.
I'm not going to tell you what happened, but they don't want you to have heroes. They don't want heroes to triumph.
Right.
That's the thing, and that's what kind of resonated in the latest Batman film. But it's the way it goes.
In the chat, MC, I'm going to make you a deal. If we cover Undiscovered Country, which I think we should at some point, MC in the chat, Undiscovered Country is one of my favourite movies ever. I think that would be a perfect moment for you to come on if we cover it, MC.
Get him on.
So sort the mic out, my friend. You will be coming on Undiscovered Country.
It's a great movie.
It is.
It's a great send-off as well.
It is. And Nimoy at his best.
Jim, they are dying. Let them die.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the real footage of that where he overacts over the top? No. And they edited it so he looks like he was more restrained. So so awful.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, MC, sort your shit out, mate, and we'll get you on. So Matzar's been tortured, and that's not working. So he's going to start. He's going to space Gwen, isn't he?
Ooh, shades of Battlestar Galactica there.
Yeah. And this is where they show the historical documents. And then he realizes it's a TV show, and he goes, "Wonderful." So I can even remember that. Wonderful.
How can they all speak English?
Yeah. Universal translator.
I know.
We're actors. Time Prophet delivering Gwen Spacey. Well done, Time Prophet. Time Prophet, you should come on one of these one time. You're more than welcome, mate.
You have heard them more than I ever could.
Yeah.
We lie. Oh, that was a sad part of the movie.
Yeah.
We lie. Why would you lie?
So the ship has been taken over. So they're going to space the crew, aren't they?
Just suck the oxygen out, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
And this is where they devise a cunning plan.
Oh, yeah.
I have a plan.
A cunning plan.
Plan.
So this is where it becomes a scene-stealing hack, isn't it?
Yeah. Overactor.
Yeah. And then gets sucked out into space. Yeah. Let them die.
Let them die.
Hitler.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Fred who saved it. Fred Kwan. Hero in the making, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
You should have trusted me.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking of Star Trek now.
Oh, and the bit where Sigourney Weaver's character says they're suffocating, she actually does that without moving her lips at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they made several cuts to this to drop it from a PG-13.
Yeah, but I read somewhere there's actually a 18 version of this.
Oh, I'd be interested in that.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Like a commercial product or like a bootleg thing?
Because I think the film was going to be a serious film.
Well, it's going to be an R-rated film.
Yeah, and they realized that it wasn't working.
I think. So sorry, not to interrupt, but what I had seen was that it was just there were a lot of other kids' movies coming out that week, and so they're like, well, you know what, we have to compete with those other kids' movies. We have to bring in a younger audience, and so we've got to drop it down. We've got to cut out the F-bombs. We have to cut out a lot of the raunchy sex stuff. We have to cut out some of the drug references, or the innuendos. And so that's what it was. But it played, I think, either way as an R movie. And I read that who was it? Sigourney Weaver. She's like, I want the cut. I want the original cut because that was like better than even what came out. Even acknowledging that it was a fantastic movie. So if she wants the original cut, I mean, heck.
Yeah, because you can see on the the metal stompers, you can see where she goes, "Fuck that."
Yeah. And when they dubbed that, they purposefully did it so that it looked really bad because the producer was pissed off that they were making him cut that line.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Fine, we'll dub it terribly," and it's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
So they're going to try and retake the ship.
This is where Sam Rockwell's floating around with his gun.
Yeah, the beryllium spheres, is that working now? So meanwhile, back in LA,
got to take out the trash.
Yeah, there he is making his ship, and then all of a sudden, yeah, because they need technical expertise, don't they? And he knows somebody who knows. Yeah, because obviously the communicators were swapped early on in the film, and they made a point of showing us that they'd been swapped. And then he's going, "I'm not a nut job. I'm not a nut job. I know it's not real." And then what does he say? It's real.
It's all real. I knew it.
Yeah. So this is the Dane, the guy who worshipped him, isn't he? Hiding using the stealth technique. Yeah.
Is that Quellic?
Yeah. So we've got the schematics of the ship with the geeks, nerds, whatever you want to call them. There's the Saris's men smoking and playing cards.
As aliens are wont to do.
Yeah. So they're talking about, because they're trying to find out what the beryllium sphere does? And
no, I think they know what it does. I think they put it in and it was it like got dislodged or something, and they had to go in and manually install it.
Right.
And so they had to go in through the Jeffries tubes.
Yeah. Agreed, mate. Hashtag. Yeah, I love to see that. Mr. Spielberg, if you're listening, there could be a few million quid.
Oh yeah.
Dollars even.
There's a lot of people that pay to see.
I bet somewhere the entire film is just sitting in a can or on a computer server somewhere.
Well, it wouldn't be in a can. The film would be all crap, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Film,
it'd be sitting somewhere.
It'd be in a bad state, won't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Like, hopefully they would have put it on digital.
Yeah.
All the rushes and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember these kids' computers like being super advanced back then. Like they used
IBM
Ray monitors, but like the software and everything is like ridiculously advanced, and their connection, their internet connections, like super quick. This is like before broadband was a thing as well.
Yeah. So Tommy's watching the rerun of How to Learn How to Fly the Ship, isn't he? Here we go. This actor's he died, didn't he? Died quite young, didn't he?
Really?
The child actor?
This guy here, I'm sure he died.
No way. I didn't know.
I think he was in an accident.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Right, okay, so is that one of his that's one of the guys who's been spaced, hits the bridge window. And this is where they're going into the bowels of the NSA or NSC. NSA, something different. In the barracks, they're still slowly dying. Bowels of the ship. And this is where we get to see it's the Omega-13, isn't it? There we go. Because nobody knows what it does, do they?
Balls.
There's some suspicion.
Yeah.
But nobody knows for sure. There are fan theories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the section with the chompers in, that they got the inspiration from that, from the rotating blade corridor in Event Horizon.
Yeah. Which is great. I'm glad they did that, because Event Horizon, oh my God, that is one of the best.
It's a great film.
Weirdest sci-fi movies. And to see that called back. I didn't know that until I was, researching for this. And I was like, great, because it looked the same, It had that same feel. But this movie's not really sinister the same way. So
I think it was the first time I went to the States, to Los Angeles. We went to see Event Horizon in Mann's Chinese Theatre. So It's got a special place. Yeah, great movie.
I saw it with my mom on accident. Well, because if you remember that the trailers for that movie just looked like a regular sci-fi movie. It just looked like a sci-fi, like Alien or something like that. And then, the nudity comes in, and then the gore and stuff. And I'm just like looking at my mom, and she's like laughing, eating popcorn. And I'm like, oh my God, never going to hear the end of this.
Right. Okay.
So,
cheers, Jacob. Thanks for popping in, mate. Okay, so let's just pile through these and let's just try and get to the end, yeah?
Let's do it.
So it's not a red shirt. You are, save him. And then he goes, oh. He thinks about something, which we never know, do we? He just giggles. And then...
That's where, what's his name, got killed, isn't it?
Yeah, and then back at the barracks... So the Stompers.
Wait. MC in the chat says, I've got the extended cut of Event Horizon. I thought that the extended cut was disappeared, was vanished. Like they had an extended cut and it... What?
There's another version where it was just basically a big orgy, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
And it was all shot in the film, and... it was left in a can, and the film basically disintegrated before they could get it onto hard drive.
Right. So is there an extended cut out there? I mean, I guess
I would imagine there'll be a slightly altered version, but not the extended.
Not the original director's type.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam Neill is brilliant in that.
Yeah. These Stompers are good, aren't they? Look at that.
So why do they have these? I don't know. The writers put them in.
And this is where she goes, fuck that. But he goes, screw that. There's a young commander there.
Oh, yes. I wasn't quite that pudgy when I was that young, but
pre-helmet days.
With the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, so the Stompers on the TV. Yeah.
I don't know what the function of those stompers is, because they're not stomping anything, are they? It's like taken straight out of a Super Mario game.
Right.
They're getting fired on.
They can block bullets.
Yeah, go through the stompers. Gun gets.
I like how it's got gel in it somehow.
Yeah,
like
blue gel.
Wow, what did they?
So then you got these big flames. So they're trying to figure out how to get rid of the guards. And then all of a sudden...
No, he beams him there, doesn't he? Beams the rock monster into
beams the rock monster into the hold.
And he beats everybody
and
up.
They just go, oh.
I like how they bring it back. You know, like you would think once he gets away from it, you're not going to see that thing again.
Yeah.
It's like back there and floating around in space.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's the simple
Guy
thing.
Fleetman's got his shirt open.
It's the simple things.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, that's when they start snogging each other.
Is this the part? No, that's it. Oh, is this the part where the tentacles come up and he's like, "Whoa!" And she's like, "Is that okay?"
And then he just kind of embraces it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he goes with it.
Really into it.
It just reminds me of Robert Picardo scene at the end of Gremlins 2 when that Marilyn Monroe type gremlin sort of like walks up to him and seduces him, and his face.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh well, I've had worse, and he just slides down the wall.
Oh, that was Robert Picardo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Doctor. Yeah.
He was also in Inner Space, wasn't he, Robert Picardo?
Oh yeah, it was the cowboy. That's
the
a good
cowboy.
Film,
I just remember him from Wonder Years.
Yeah.
There you go. That's his best cum face.
Oh boy.
It's going up his bum.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Mr. Angel. She does have lovely, sexy tentacles. Yeah.
Smells of fish though.
They all do, mate.
Oh.
And it's just spat my sushi on the floor.
So this is where you're eating fish. So this is the rock monster is it's running amok through the digital set. Everything always has numbers, which I always like.
That's what Matt used to say.
It looks great, though.
About numbers on doors.
Yeah, I just love it.
2010 went overboard with the numbers. I think
I
they
just
stole
love
the
it.
numbers from all the other films, didn't they?
Yeah, just great, aren't they?
Well, when they work, I mean, if you look at Star Trek V, when they're going up in the elevator and they unleashing rockets straight up, they go up a few numbers, then they go down again, and then they go up again.
Yeah, that's bad editing. That Star Trek V, if it was re-edited, could be quite a good film.
It'd still be shit.
No, Ian, I think you're being very harsh.
Am I?
Listen,
for that movie.
I'm going to say I'm right, you're wrong. Deal with it.
Okay, we can say that as much as you want. Doesn't make you right.
Oh, it does. I never pull rank, but I will on this occasion. I think if Shatner got his budget to redo the special effects and it was edited a little bit better, I think it would be a lot better. But there you go.
What's that
Moving
noise? What's that noise? Sound like something was underwater or something.
Okay, so
Still going?
It's not his budgericars, is it? Or canaries? Right, I'm cute. So it's we've saved you. Blah blah blah. We've saved you. See, Time Prophet knows.
Well, good for you.
Time Prophet. Listen, we're right, mate. You know that.
I have a version of Star Trek V somewhere on VHS, which has been edited by a fan filmmaker called Ryan K. Johnson, and he redid the entire film as a Mystery Science Theater 3000, and it's hilarious. I'll see if I can dig it out because it's really funny to watch. It's better than the original.
I've been shot.
Yeah, he gets killed. He dies. Does he not die?
Yeah.
This fella?
Yeah. Because he gives him the speech, doesn't he? By Grand Thor's hammer, I will avenge thee. Yeah, this is it. Very, very good, this.
This is Alan Rickman's gravitas coming on to full.
Yeah.
Right here.
And out of the blue, this is a really hard-hitting emotional moment in the middle of a comedy.
Yeah.
On my first rewatch, I was like, "Oh no," because I'd forgotten about this scene, and it really hit home.
I think it's always a great production when you can. It reminds me of Blackadder Goes Forth as well at the end of the last episode.
Yeah.
You've got all these crazy laughs and ridiculousness and silliness going on, and then right at the end, it's got this huge amount of pathos going on, and the contrast between the two over that fine line between tragedy and comedy is like startling. And if you're a good writer with comedy, and that's hard to do, I think you can pull off some amazing emotional effects for the audience, and they did so well with that in this scene. It's a really surprising film in general. This one, how good it is in so many ways.
This film has got the X factor.
Mm.
It's just a shame the studio didn't realise.
No, they didn't. No, it's a shame, isn't it, when they don't realise what they got and let it
they
languish.
had a clear-cut gem.
Yeah.
Mm. And they were really on the pulse of what people wanted at the time as well. This is, I think, this is one of two films from 1999 that had a viral web page that was allegedly done by other people. They made up a super fan and did a really bad web page for this to celebrate the film coming into theaters.
Wow.
And they actually coded the website like a fan-made website. And it was pretty funny. It's still there on the Wayback Machine, but the only other one that did this, which turned out to be a roaring success, was Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, that was close.
Really tapped into the internet culture back then. So
well, people believed it was real.
Yeah.
That's how they tapped into that.
Never seen it, but I know it was absolutely massive. Mr. Angel, little tear from the top. Little tear jerker in between to give the comedy a bit of gravitas. Yeah. I will just say to the chat, I always ask the guests a sentence or a paragraph, what they think about the film. I'll throw it open to the chat and we'll try and read them out before we finish. So, chat, thoughts on the film? Okay, so that was the moment where Dane just goes for the guard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's funny.
Takes him out. Yeah, and takes him out. So back at the center of the ship, the bowels of the ship, with the controls for the Omega 13.
Sigourney Weaver's costume is getting
falling off.
Falling off her, basically, more or less.
Yeah. Countdown. And they're pressing down the controls.
Oh, it's hilarious when he's trying to get Brandon to tell him what to do and he's had to empty the trash.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh, Jason. Because they think that's it.
It's still counting down.
Wookie Fever. It's freaking awesome. Love all the actors. Pure joy for nerds. Yeah. Time Prophet. I think Alan Rickman saved this movie. I just think everybody was into it, and you could tell.
Yeah. Any one actor removed, and I think it wouldn't had the same chemistry and magic.
I think everybody realised that they were just having a good time, and it just shone. Mr. Angel, best Star Trek parody ever. Pure comedy gold, a honest and funny tribute to Star Trek and its fans. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. MC, Galaxy Quest is a great fun sci-fi tribute to Star Trek and its fans, and also creating its own fan base. Yeah. I don't think any of these hacks in Hollywood would understand any of this.
Don't have to understand.
Yeah.
Have all the power.
Yeah. Sigourney, Time Prophet, Sigourney wore the wig in case the movie flopped, so she didn't trust it would be successful. So it's the wig's fault.
Usually the hardest film to make, the films that go through hell are the ones that usually end up being appreciated in the end. I mean, Jaws was a prime example of that. Do you know what I mean? So
the countdown has stopped on 1 second.
Because that's how it always stopped in the show.
Well, it stopped at 007 and Goldfinger, didn't it? Goldfinger. Yeah.
Romeo in the chat, a parody that didn't land for me at the time, but as the source material has declined in quality, it gets better. Did any of the panel actually go to see this at the cinema?
Yeah, I did.
I did.
Yeah, I did. Because nobody knew about it, really. And me and the girlfriend at the time, we went to see it. And I was just blown away by it. So good. It's just a shame nobody knew it was around. Anyway.
Well, I think it was the people who did were, Trek fans who might have thought that it was kind of mocking them, like Patrick Stewart had said. And so they're just like, well, I'm not going to pay my money to that, because we were already used to being insulted. It hadn't become a cottage industry like it is now. But it was like, well, why go see that when I can watch regular Star Trek, But that's why I liked it, because regular Star Trek was in decline even then.
Yeah.
It filled a gap.
So this is the moment where they go, it always stops at 1 on the show. So back on the ship. Away you go, Ian.
Expressed.
Yeah, wow. Wow.
All right, calm down, gentlemen.
Woof.
Woof. So they've retaken the ship. And this is where they're going to go for it.
When I was in the cinema, I remember watching the last scene. All the audience cheered.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how much they were into it.
I've never ever been to a film where the audience have been rowdy.
Really?
I did once.
Yeah.
I've been loads of times.
I went to the States in '96 with a load of mates, and we saw Independence Day on launch day, on actually July the 4th. We were at Disney World, at a cinema in the Disney World complex sort of region. And as we were watching it, actually, it's really weird. In the queue before we went in, I looked up and saw the space shuttle taking off as well, which was really weird.
Oh, get in!
In the distance, I just saw this like tiny little dot going into the sky, and then suddenly the rocket boosters came off and everything. I just thought, wow, what are the chances of that? Anyway, went into the cinema. I was super excited to see this film after like months of hype and stuff, and it was all over the TV. And I bought an action figure while I was over there from Toys R Us. We were sitting there, and I was like, "Yeah, popcorn, really ready to watch it." Even saw the Star Trek First Contact trailer beforehand, so I was super excited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this film started playing, and the audience were just like, "Oh my god!" It was full of like teenage kids, and they just did nothing but like cheer and take the piss out of the film, and just oh my god. I could barely hear the film. And I'm one of these people that takes a movie really seriously and I like to sit there and enjoy it in the darkness and just appreciate the movie. And it was just going on all over the place. People
atmosphere
behind me and everything. And I was just pissed off, man. I was like, I had to hold myself back from having to go with the other kids because just
that's what the Americans are like, though. The Americans do they do basically look at films in a different light to the British.
They do, yeah.
I actually listen to. I actually agree with what you're saying, Matt, because I've been loads of times in cinemas in America, and the audience just talks through the film sometimes, and
hate it.
Yeah.
It's like
it depends on the theater where you're at, but yeah, they can get a little bit more rowdy. In my hometown, in fact, just after I had left high school, there was a man who murdered a couple of teenagers for talking in the movie theater. He turned around and blew their heads off.
What?
And with a 45, and he sat down and watched the rest of the movie, until the lights came on, and they're like, "There's a couple of dead kids in here, but they were quiet, so everything was okay." So that guy can feel your pain there with rowdy teenagers, and it's like that's what all of us want to do, right? We just want to turn around and blow their heads off, but we don't. But with certain movies, it can get loud. Like it can get kind of it's like fun. I don't know. Independence Day might be one of those where you're going to hear the speech and you're going to be like, yeah, oh fuck yeah,
fuck yeah.
And,
the film that I'll always remember till my dying death about the audience really get into it is when I went to see Three Eyes Only, James Bond's Three Eyes Only, and that was packed. It was an evening showing, and the audience laughed at everything. They cheered at everything. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Wow.
When you watch a film now.
Trainspotting 2, a few of the boys were pissed up in the cinema, but it was one of the rare occasions where the cinema crowd, because I'd already seen it, but I went to see it again. The cinema crowd was really into it, and it was a good atmosphere for Trainspotting 2. I will say to the captain in the chat, Galaxy Quest is amazing. You need to check it out, mate. It's a great film.
Yeah.
You will not be disappointed.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah. So the final battle, going towards the he's flying towards the minefield again, isn't he? Are you crazy? I'll try. Yes. Well, no time travel either. Well, there is actually in this, isn't there?
There is.
18 seconds of it. And then this is the speech where I recognise a hack, blah, 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 and a bad actor. Then the mines are being followed, go towards the ship, and then boom. Then here we go. I like the scene where he's running through the ship and it's exploding behind him.
Mm-hmm. Those are always fun.
Yeah.
They have one of those in the Horizon too, don't they?
Yeah.
I do really appreciate the way that this film goes from, quite whimsical comedy to actual kind of high stakes action, and you really kind of are wondering how it's going to play out.
It's just great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Balanced. Well,
very good.
Yes. So they're all victorious and happy, and he's basically saying, "We've found a great leader." That's Mafazar, isn't it?
Mm.
We found a great leader.
Oh,
yeah.
Go back a flipping out. Rewind that.
I've seen Rickman's face there.
Oh, I'm just going to masticate.
Everybody, you have permission to masticate in the chat.
Well, she still looks great. She looked great. And how old was she in her 50s there?
51.
Yeah.
51.
Lovely.
Amazing.
I see nothing wrong with actually, saying women are good looking.
No way.
Nothing at all. So they're going back home through the black hole.
That's another film we should take on.
Yes.
Black Hole's a great film.
Yeah, it is.
When Disney were good.
Yeah, when they're experimental and trying new things and actually creating something.
Mm-hmm. And not evil.
Yeah.
And not evil.
Mr. Angel, I have been known to have confiscated a bucket of popcorn of a guy chewing it so loud next to me that 5 rows around us, they complained. When he gave me lip about it, I deposited it all over his head.
Yeah, try doing that in Brixton. All better even.
Time profit. I'm 53, 51 ain't old. I think we're all 53 on this stream.
Not I. Different decade, gentlemen.
You're a nipper.
Not me. I'm not 53. I'm a lot older.
So we're going down the black hole on the way to Earth. We're congratulating each other. I'll pile through these, see if we can finish at 3 hours. Fred turns up with his phaser. MC agrees. Yeah. Black hole. Yeah. Time profit. Yeah. Okay, guys, we'll sort the black hole out before long.
Excellent.
The Black Hole. What a great movie.
Yeah, and then Quan fires. There you go.
And if you note in this scene as well, Guy, who's constantly fear of being killed because he's the red shirt, is the only one that doesn't get killed.
Yes. Yep.
Because he's just a red shirt.
Yeah. So they're all getting killed. Gwen. And they're going towards Earth. Can't stop. Ned Smith realizes it's the Omega-13's last chance. Because he's kind of got an inkling of what it is. A time collapser or something. Then Mathazar. That's
Brandon's leading fan theory.
Yeah. So this is where, as Rob said, Guy's the only one who doesn't get killed, ironically. So he just operates on different levels. Every level is just well written.
That's why it's one of the top 4 movies of all time.
Cheers, Mr. Angel. Take care. Thank you for popping in, mate.
Indeed.
So here we go. And boom. And then, is it 15 seconds or 18? Something like that. So
I thought, wasn't it 13? Because it's Omega-13. Don't know.
Well spotted.
It's in the teens, but I thought it was 13.
Yes. Yeah. So we're going back to correct. And this is where he twats him. And then he just appears on the floor. Then Mafsar twats him with his walking stick. And then we're still going back to Earth now, but we've gone back 13 seconds, so Jupiter is there. So this is where the story goes a little bit iffy for me, because they're traveling so fast, they've got time to say goodbyes and stuff like that. And then once we get back to LA, the Brandon has got time literally to cycle from his house all the way to the convention center in seconds. So, and
LA
obviously,
is a small city.
Yeah, and obviously it crash lands on the day of a convention as well.
Which in the original cut killed a bunch of convention goers.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it did, and they took that out because it was too brutal. They were decapitated, is what it said. And so they're like, nah, we don't want to do that. Because I always wondered, like, okay, you crash a spacecraft into a giant crowded convention center, and everyone's just like, yeah. But yeah, they changed that.
Time Prophet having computer woes.
Uh-oh. I've been there.
So they're separating the top ship, aren't they, from the main body? And Fred's...
Captain's yacht.
Yeah. He's staying...
He stays with him, doesn't he? Monk stays with him.
Yeah.
Now she looks high, too, there.
She does. So here we go. The ship's traveling at whatever speed, and then it separates. Here we go.
Oh, by the way, speaking of the Omega-13, and if you guys heard something different, let me know. But this is what I had heard, that the revival that was supposed to happen like in 2013, 2014, 15, that Alan Rickman wasn't able to be a part of, so they shelved it. What the plot was going to be about was the time dilation that was created by the Omega-13 device that then created 2 dual realities. That were 13 seconds apart, but there was like 2 different versions of the crew, maybe like one evil or evil Thermians or something like that.
That'd be good.
And that's how they were going to resolve all of that time thing.
Timey-wimey shit.
Right, timey-wimey. Which would, judging from the writing of this show, would have gone off really well. But anyway, that was an unresolved plot.
Right. Okay. So we're on the homeward leg, boys and girls. So he's got to take the rubbish out, hasn't he? Or was that the previous scene? Okay. So he's got all his fireworks.
He's got the fireworks because he's going to show them where to land.
Yeah. So the spacecraft's coming in at light speed, whatever it is. But he's got
destroys a couple of cars, doesn't it?
Yeah, but he's got plenty of time to get on his push bike and go to central LA somewhere. So takes a little liberty, but we can forgive it.
Maybe it's like because they were in a black hole. Remember in Interstellar, like where time goes faster,
okay,
or time goes slower, depending. Maybe I don't know. I'm just making.
Well, if they're going faster than if they're going at speed of light,
yeah, you're probably right. That's how I rationalize it.
Yeah.
I'm backwards.
Okay. So he's there all of a sudden. Amazing. And the ship lands into the convention center.
Killing no one.
Yeah.
Miraculously. Yeah.
Except for Saris, maybe.
They must have built that set for it to do that. Or how did they do that?
Because that's practical. That is practical, isn't it?
That's half a building coming down.
Maybe they took a really old convention center and poked some holes in the top.
Yeah. One what was going to get demolished or something.
Yeah.
And all the crowd are waiting and running. Ships stopped.
It's like the greatest entrance ever, isn't it?
Yeah, so they all think it's part of the show.
Yeah. How cool would that be if that was a real Star Trek convention?
Tommy Webber! Whoa!
Oh, that's what's his name from Kids in the Hall.
Yeah, I just thought
that. Good stuff.
Gwen DeMarco. Hey!
It's just introducing them as they come out.
Unknown character. Tech Sergeant Chang. Kwan. Even. And then Saris is on the ship, wakes up, doesn't he? Alexander Dane. He's British.
Yeah, it says he's British.
Yeah. Then here we go. So the crowd think it's all part of the show, don't they?
It's a nice little double ending, isn't it? I like
Yeah.
it.
And then he fires the rifle and kills him. Again, they think it's all part of the show.
Yeah.
Then boom.
No disintegrations.
Then yay!
Will they? Won't they? Will they? Won't they?
They fucking
They
will. Even Alexander Dane's laughing.
Tell you
I
what.
just love it how his I can't even say it, his headpiece is still on. Just
it's on throughout the entire movie. He does not seem without it off.
Yeah, Matthew.
Yeah. Tim Allen must have loved this scene. Being a fan of Sigourney's.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if he made sure that he fluffed his lines, as it were, so he had to retake.
Good point. I would.
Yeah.
Take 141.
I wouldn't.
My hand wasn't quite right.
Personally, if it was Sigourney, I wouldn't need a fluffer.
And Ned Smith is on stage. Yay! With all the crew thinking that it's just him.
Of course, it would have all been televised as well, so even better.
Yeah. And then he does the salute, doesn't he? And it's like, this moment's fucking brilliant. Yeah.
Give up. Never surrender.
And then he gets the crew, because it's all about them as well, not just him, about them.
Right.
Yay! And then this is the Amazon TV series, boys and girls.
No.
Galaxy Woke. Yeah.
You saw what they did with Coming to America too, didn't you? So
I think I watched the first 30 minutes of that, and I
Coming to Woke America too.
even had Wesley Snipes in it, and it's like,
Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible.
Such a fan of Wesley Snipes. Okay, right. So we're on the last. We're on the homeward leg now, boys and girls. So 10 minutes to go, and then we'll bail at 3. So okay. So this is the recommissioned show. Ironically, not commissioned by DreamWorks or anything for a real life TV series or film. Never mind. Oh, 51. Unbelievable. 51.
Women in their TikTok little girlies in their 20s wish they could look after that good.
Jane Doe.
Jane Doe. Tommy Webber, Laredo. And introducing, this is brilliant as this bit.
Yes, this is fucking
The
great.
doors opening.
It's so great.
Guy Fleegman as security chief, Rock. Ingersoll. Brilliant.
That's so good, that scene. It became a meme,
Brilliant.
didn't it? You see it everywhere now.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
I pissed myself laughing at that bit in the cinema. I just thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. Right, I think we're almost at the end of the slide. So I will just say to the boys and girls in the chat, the numbers have been good. The regulars have stuck with us this evening. 3 hours. You've done well, boys and girls. So cheers for the interaction. As I always say, we are nothing without you guys. So I will go through the guests, a sentence paragraph of your thoughts of the film. We've got 4 slides to go, so we'll try and bat it out for 3 hours. So let me get you boys back on. So we will start. Ian, thoughts of the film?
Yeah, I liked it. I loved it. Thought it was a lot of fun. As I said, it's very much reminds you of Star Trek. And what can I say? I think it's now appreciated more than it was when it was first released. Bad trailer, bad advertisement, still didn't destroy it. Just goes to prove that anything that's made well and made with passion always gets noticed in the end, no matter what. So there you go.
Question for you. Do you think it's a masterpiece? No,
not at all. It's very entertaining though, and well worth watching.
Yeah, it's a great film. It's a great film. Swappers.
I don't think it needs to be a masterpiece. I think it's just bloody well, superb, amazing entertainment, really solid, very difficult to fault. It puts you on a high once you've seen it. It may be derivative, but it wouldn't exist if it wasn't derivative. So it works for it in every way. And it's one of those films that is based on something else that works brilliantly. It's original, but it's not original, if you like. But it's the perfect cast, perfectly acted, really well written. Special effects that just cannot fault, even for the time.
Yeah, great.
And it just leaves me with just a warm glow and a great feeling after I've seen it. I mean, what more can you ask from a movie of any genre? I think
it's true.
No, usually when I do these films and do the slides, I kind of do them in sittings. But for this, I just watched it because it's just great. I just love this.
It carries you along, doesn't it? It's the momentum. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah,
it's just got so many things going for it on so many levels.
Yeah. Underappreciated gem, this movie.
Yeah. Z.
Absolutely amazing movie. It's one of those that doesn't date either. You can go back to it at any time and still enjoy it the same as you enjoyed it on your first viewing.
Absolutely.
It's a hell of a lot of rewatchability on this, which I think a lot of other comedies or even sci-fi movies, they don't have that element in there. Whereas this one, you can just pick it up, throw it on, and just have a hour and a bit of some fun viewing. I love it, and it really tapped into the fan culture at the time when Star Trek was really at its peak with its. I think Next Gen had finished. DS9 was on its last season, but Voyager was well into stuff, and they were doing the Star Trek movies at the time as well. So yeah, it was really great. I really enjoyed it, and I mean, it's probably something I'll probably watch again before the end of the year.
Yeah, easy.
So much love for this film. There's been lots of fan documentaries and some properly big funded documentaries as well, hasn't there, regarding this film? Some of them are on YouTube as well. I will just say on behalf of Brian, who had to pop off for family emergency, he loves this film, thoroughly entertaining. What more can he say? He genuinely likes this film a lot. So, last but not least, The Commander. Thoughts?
As I said at the beginning, I absolutely love this movie. I think that the mark of a great piece of entertainment is rewatchability and how it makes you feel as a person. And so in that sense, I would call it a masterpiece, because
it's a good film.
What is entertainment except to entertain? And it does that in every single way. It even entertains the people who are making it, which you can see clearly. It's a love letter to fans of science fiction. It's a love letter to the fans of each one of these actors, who are all given their due in the movie. I could and do rewatch it, many, many times since 1999. Every couple of years or so, I get the itch, and it never disappoints. You can absolutely pop it on at any point in time, and it's good there. So, one of the greats, one of the all-time greats, and I think it came at a perfect time as well, where it tided over fandom and gave them a little bit of morale boost when the Star Trek franchise was sort of fading and geekdom was maligned, and it certainly made me feel good inside when I watched it. So, A++, 100, 10 out of 10.
So, other than that, you didn't like it?
Yes. Other than that, Mr. Lincoln, how was the play?
Okay.
No, absolutely spectacular. And I look forward with fear and trepidation to any kind of reboot.
Please don't.
So that we're we've steeled our souls. Something like that may be coming, but we can also hope that if the actors don't like it, that they will just walk.
Anybody but Amazon,
No, they won't walk. It's money. It's always money at the end of the day, isn't it?
I don't even think the original cast are in it, are they?
Well, they have talked about getting them back. The reason that it didn't work out earlier, it wasn't just Alan Rickman. Tim Allen's show, Last Man Standing, was still going. Sigourney Weaver was working on some other stuff, and blah blah blah. But the same function might be
get recast. It's
right now.
Recast.
Oh, and if it's recast, no one will watch it. None of us, the good fans. So anyway, thank you for bringing that up.
Time Profit, always good money on these. It's more a Banksy than Mona Lisa, more etch sketch than art, but worth watching.
It's a very niche kind of film as well, because you don't get that many sci-fi comedies, do you? I mean, this was the first one I'd seen outside of Red Dwarf.
And this one, though, and I will say, I think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't have to be a sci-fi fan to watch this. I've watched this with a lot of people who are not sci-fi fans, and they liked it. The emotion, the drama, the action, the humor, it hits every note, and pleases every customer. So,
and that's why the studio, the DreamWorks, somebody should have lost their jobs over not getting this out.
It's tragic.
Should have done at least
it's politics. That's all it is. Just politics.
They just didn't know what to do with it. Anyway, okay. I think that is it. If you've stuck with us until the end, amazing, boys and girls. Amazing. 3 hours. Wow. Mr. Brown Alliance, please like, share, and subscribe. Next week, Beverley Hills Cop, Eddie Murphy, my late mother's favourite movie. I think we say this every Saturday. I think we're going to try and pop up during the week, but famous last words. I will thank the guests. So on behalf of Brian, I will thank Brian. Thank you, Brian. Ian, thank you, my friend.
No worries.
Swappers, good to have you back, mate.
Thank you. Really enjoyable. Thanks a lot.
Z, top draw, mate.
Always a pleasure.
And last but by no means least, from his volcano somewhere nice, somewhere paradise, with his birds in the background, it's the wonderful Commander Culture. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it.
And I'm going to do my very, very best to stop this broadcast at 3 hours. So cheers, everybody.